All right. Looks like we are live. What's going on, everybody? Poo poo bum bum. Marty McFly, congratulations, you are first. Non-Wib, what's up? Seymour Butts, what's going on?
That was going on in Capitol Hill yesterday was a pretty wild set of hearings into whatever the hell has been going on with these UFOs or UAPs, whatever you want to call them. We've all seen probably these images and videos of these objects that they still have not been able to explain what they are, where they came from, how they're able to move and operate in the way that they do. And one of the star witnesses yesterday was a man named David Grush, who served a lot of years in government and has come forward as a whistleblower. Not saying that he has direct knowledge of some pretty wild secret government programs to recover alien craft. That I'll show you some of the allegations that he made yesterday. But that he says he was sort of read into these things, that he knew people directly that were involved in them. So he is recounting what he knows. Allegedly of these programs. So
really, it's not even somebody like actually testifying. He's obviously making it up, but like he's actually claiming it's hearsay.
Let's take a look. This was one of the probably more shocking moments where
Sean Baker did a video on me. Oh god, this is gonna be fucking hilarious if he did. Vegan gains or vegan pains.
Hi guys,
this is coming from a guy who literally can't even fucking bench. Okay, like when I scroll through the fucking video and I'm seeing clips of me from like fucking 8 years ago. What is he even fucking doing? Donate $2, thank you to Jasmine for her service in Ukraine. Oh god, I gotta send this to her. Hey Jasmine, I didn't know you served in Ukraine. Take a look at the link. I want to hear her reaction. Yeah. A little.
Компаніях. Зараз я бойовий медик роти.
Actually a fair bit. She looks like she could be related to you. And like... Yeah. Yeah, from the right angle, I might actually mistake... I could mistake her for Jasmine.
Працювала.
Just found out God isn't real. What? Damn. Also ass poop shit cock Richard Burgess Bichard Burgess LLLLLLLLLLLL fuck quirt I 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 quirty.
Well, that's good to hear. Thanks for the donation, non-Wib. Appreciate it. Alright, I guess we can scroll through this fucking Sean Baker vid. What a joke.
Vegan diet, good for your brain.
I drink 2 glasses of soy milk every day, and I eat a block of tofu.
Yeah, so I think this was from 4 years ago?
Maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Paul, where is your scientific evidence?
Show me the...
Today we're talking about one of the most prolific, I suppose.
Like, he's obviously not going to show any recent content or, like, show my Instagram, because if he did, then he is going to have to explain why I look so fucking gigantic and jacked. and why I can fucking outlift him on practically every fucking lift. So, yeah, just show a clip of me from like 4 years ago talking about soy, I guess.
Vegan YouTube channel by the name of Vegan Gains. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Sean Baker. Now,
Well, he fucked up. He showed my like photo of when I was doing bodybuilding.
Gains material is pretty disturbing, and so if a angry, dangerous vegan and watching them rant bother you, may not want to watch this particular video. Vegan Gains, also known as Richard Burke.
So this again is a photo from 8 years ago. Like, I just want to know what process he went through to make this video, because, like, if I was going to make a video about Sean and I wanted to use, like, some kind of photo, I'd, like, probably, like, first do a Google search, see if there's any kind of, like, recent images of the guy. Like, this seems like one of the most recent ones. This links to a podcast from 4 months ago. Like, if you search me, what comes up first? Like, I guess there's some old shit, but, like, no, like, this guy's followed me for a while. So these are one of the first photos, but, like, knowing that I have an Instagram and knowing this is from 8 years ago, just why use such an old photo? Like, I clearly don't look the same. Dodo donated $2. Proof China is a shithole. Let me take a look. Jesus. Ugh, that is disgusting. What even is this? Gross. Well, okay then. What an idiot. Okay. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Burgess is infamous for dangerous, threatening, and completely unhinged behavior. How does...
So again, this is literally a clip of me in an article from 8 years ago. So I'm known for dangerous behavior, shows something that was made 8 years ago, and I have 0 criminal record, yet he makes the statement. Okay. Like, buddy, you used to be a medical doctor, and then your license was taken away from you because of potential medical malpractice. Like, between you and I, who has society recognized is more dangerous? Like, you're literally not allowed to fucking practice your profession because you were deemed a fucking liability. Like, what a fucking idiot.
How does this guy think the world should be?
Ideally, we'd want to get rid of carnivorous animals so that prey species like deer aren't preyed upon.
These people have no actual respect for nature or life.
That's okay. So he just showed a short clip of my stance on killing carnivorous animals and protecting rights of, you know, any species. Like, that is not a rebuttal to anything I said. Like his statement is they have no respect for nature. Okay, that's not a fucking refutation. It's not an argument. Like, if I saw a video of this guy talking about why it's important to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, and I said, this guy has no respect for nature, like, I'd be laughed at. It's not in any way a fucking response, but, like, okay. Claiming if somebody washes their hands after they go to the bathroom, it's like, what's the difference between me saying you have no respect for nature and then Sean saying that same thing with regards to my idea about inalienable rights? This guy's a fucking clown. Donate $2, play Endling or Little Nightmares today. Also, email Kid back now, because I guarantee you forgot to the other day. She said you would. Yeah, I forgot. Let me take a look. What's that guy's name? I have so much bullshit on my fucking business email. Spencer. Okay, the last email he gave me is, no, I have banned Cam those days, maybe some other time. I will give you the date later. That was the last message, and that was from 8 days ago. Any idea on when you'd have free time? Question mark. Alright. Can't make you any guarantees though, Dodo. Appreciate the donation.
You wash your hands after you use the bathroom? Everyone needs to stop watching this guy. He is a literal fucking psychopath. He has no respect for nature. He has to use artificial chemicals to destroy his skin and natural processes.
It's like, yeah. It's just such a meaningless fucking statement that is, like, it's clearly deliberate just so that he doesn't have to actually engage with the topic. Thanks for the donation though, Sfarage. I'll challenge him to a debate after I watch the full clip. He'll probably just run away like an idiot.
I bought one of these. Do you think? Will people think I have autism? I make unwise financial decisions. Shart.
So this supposed to be used as like an instrument or something, or
so you got
can it be just used for anything?
With the rep really wallet that you can replace it with a US each south, west, and east, and they can also be pressed down like which allows you to separate the two halves of the character.
So what is this fucking for? Type at the speed of thought. Okay. I don't know why there's an image of PewDiePie there, but you can spend your money any way you want. Thanks for the donation, non-wib. Like, it's just such a baffling statement. No respect for nature. Like,
he would kill all the predators, not realizing that the prey animals would then multiply, get sick, and then, of course, die anyway. He doesn't seem to be someone who has much patience.
What is he talking about? There are plenty of ecosystems that have no predatory animals. So, there was that recent paper on Yellowstone National Park Like I guess if you exclude insects or maybe, you know, like small rodents or something, all of the major prey species were gone. There were no wolves or coyotes or anything. And Yellowstone National Park was doing just fine. There's plenty of other examples, like, I mean, the dodo bird. The reason why dodos were so maladaptive for dealing with predators, including humans and every other animal that humans brought along with them, like dogs, was because there were no fucking natural predators that they had to deal with for at least centuries. And they just adapted their kind of behavior around just being friendly and not running away from anything. Because, like again, for hundreds of years at least, dodos had evolved in an environment where there were zero predators. So what is he talking about? Like, there are actual modern fucking examples of ecosystems where there are no major predators, like, again, excluding things like insects, I suppose. 21st Savage donated $2. Base black woman, very rare moment. Let me see.
What do you do for a living?
I don't work.
So what do you do during the day?
Nothing.
You don't want to work?
No, no.
So you're just living off of his child support?
I am. And we live with our mother.
And you're proud of that?
Well, we were living with him, and I was a stay-at-home mom. He made the income.
But you can work now, right?
I can, but...
No, but you can go get a job, right?
I could, but I'm not going to. My rent's free, my food is free. My mom's the homeowner. We don't have to pay nothing.
Who covers health insurance?
I do.
What I'm going to do is give you credit, actually. Bring your child support down.
Down?
Monthly, yes, slightly. It's still expensive. $1,093 a month.
That's it?
Well, it would be more if you get a job.
He would pay more if I got a job?
No, it would be more for the child if you got a job. What do you do?
Yeah, it's pretty based. That woman seems pretty toxic and cancerous. Student gets Uno reversed on question about white privilege.
Why are black people in jail at higher rates than white people?
That's the question, right? Maybe because they commit more crimes than white people.
But that's not true.
It actually is.
They do. So every independent analysis shows that blacks have committed a disproportionate amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York...
Yeah, so that is true, but it's pretty clear why black people are committing more crime on average. Like, with that said, too, black people are also far more likely to get wrongfully accused. And they're less likely to get fair representation in court. So some of these statistics may be skewed a fair bit because of racial bias in the criminal justice system, but it seems pretty clear. But, like, this guy's just a fucking, you know, wacko conservative racist.
New York, 52% of murders are committed by blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+.
Yeah, so when you give a statistic like that, when you hear a statistic like that, without any nuance from a racist like this, you'll think, oh man, black people are dangerous. Well, it's all fucking organized crime. Like, it's basically black gangs shooting and killing other black gang members. That's where all these statistics essentially come from. So, like, when you hear something like this and the way he wants to portray it as, he wants, like, white people to think that black people are a danger to them when they're really not.
Percent of drug deals. And so the question you should really be asking is what drives them to commit crimes? That's the question, right?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2018, black or African American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes, while white people committed about 4 million.
Yeah, so
but that's the proportion.
Yeah, so I don't know what resource she's looking at, but it's probably looking at totals and not as a proportion of the population.
Yeah, how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than black people in the United States.
It's a 60% white country and a 14% black country, so you just proved my point.
Yeah, they're dum-dums. Anyway, thanks for the nation, 21st Savage. Compound, within the compound of the... You're annoying me.
And makes a good case for a
Yes, just show a random clip of that makes no sense to show that I'm crazy.
vegan diet causing some form of mental illness.
Talk about that because it's too personal. F you. Guess what? Eating Beyond Burgers and eating potatoes and rice doesn't give you mental health problems, jackass. I hope we never see you again and you wind up in a ditch somewhere. I genuinely hope your mental health issues are incurable, get just worse and worse every
Sean thinks I have mental health issues because I eat a healthy plant-based diet. Like, has this guy ever been to a psych ward? Like, what do you think these people are eating? And what sorts of diets do you think they had before they were hospitalized? I can guarantee you, most schizophrenics aren't vegan. Like,
day, I hope what you're exposed to just drives you to complete and utter madness. I hate you so much.
So Richard, I believe, is clearly proving that yes, indeed, veganism does seem to lead to mental illness, at least in...
Right, okay, since I'm mentally ill, you should have, since I'm mentally ill, you shouldn't be afraid of debating me. I'm sure your superior, let's see, I'm sure your superior diet will fuel your brilliant carnist brain. Yeah, I'm sure your superior diet will fuel your brilliant carnist brain and will you'll easily defeat me in a debate. How about we debate the ethical principles of veganism? We can also talk about culling carnivorous animals, since that was topic you brought up in this video, and maybe you can explain why I'm able to... never mind. Yeah, since I'm mentally ill, you shouldn't be afraid of debating me. I'm sure your superior diet will fuel your brilliant carnivore brain. You'll easily defeat me in a debate. How about we debate ethical principles of veganism? And we can also talk about killing carnivorous animals, since that was a topic you brought up in this video. Let's see what else he
certain
has to
susceptible
say.
individuals. This clown really proves it.
Here we go, and then, yeah, here's the clips of me from 8 years ago, completely out of context. Oh, this, yeah, me telling the kid that he's a piece of shit after his dad died, yeah.
Yeah, there he is. Shit.
Crap
One hanging around at the
This is just character assassination bullshit.
family gathering. Eat in a way that helps your brain, such as reducing...
Since I'm mentally ill, I shouldn't be afraid of debating me. I'm sure your spirit diet will fear your carnivore brain. How about we debate the ethical principle of veganisms? We can also talk about culling carnivorous animals and diet and mental health, since those were topics you brought up in this video. Yeah, should I say anything else? Like, bring up any other kind of point? I guess that's it. maybe we can also talk about how carnism has destroyed your mental health to the point that you can't even practice your profession anymore, and you had your medical license taken away. I guess that, yeah. Anyway. Like, it's funny how he shows these random clips of me completely out of context, and, like, again, most of these are from fucking 8 years ago. Like, I clearly look fucking older. Just anybody looking at this wouldn't think this is recent. I clearly look much older. And then he uses this as evidence I'm mentally ill, even though it's almost been a decade. Like, I could just as easily point to him, like, literally not being able to practice his profession. He got his medical license taken away. Like, I would think that's a much greater red flag, that this person's not mentally well or has some sort of personal problems. If he's literally not able to do his fucking job, and some sort of medical board said, yeah, there's no way you can practice medicine anymore. Like, the hypocrisy. But I'm sure this guy he runs away from fucking every debate. Oh yeah, the cage match. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Fuck this guy. I don't think he'd ever agree, but we'll see. Maybe during the debate, if he brings it up. I don't want to be the person, like, he's fucking what, like 55 or something? He's old. Sean Baker age. How tall? Yeah, he's 55 as of January 2022. Okay, so he's 56. Like, he's literally an old man. Although he's in pretty decent shape, it looks like, he's also 55. So, if he mentions it, sure, I'll take him up on the challenge, but otherwise, yeah, I'll just play it cool. Dodo donate $2. I want to see you play Luigi's Mansion because it will be funny when you have to play the baby level. You'll hate it. I am not going to play Luigi's Mansion since you mentioned it. Thanks for that donation, Dodo.
$100 says this is Sean Baker on Sunday mornings.
Okay, here we are, guys. You guys ask about the butthole sunning all the time, and this is another one of my practices. I don't always talk about it, but it's well known that your sphincter or your butthole is one of the most sensitive or thin mucous membranes in the body. 30 seconds of sun on the butthole is like 8 hours of sun outside with your clothes.
Well.
No. That is monstrously stupid. What the fuck?
Despite what this chap says, there is no effective body to butthole sunning conversion rate. All that this is likely to get you is
a sunburn on your fucking asshole.
Ass cancer. And I think I speak for all of the dermatologists of this world when I say they see enough cancers already without also having to look at your butthole.
Well, thanks for that donation, Quest. I wouldn't be surprised either. Dodo $92. This is why I want kid debate to happen so badly, because it's going to spawn some amazing content, people attacking you for debating a child, as if that's some sort of red line that should never be crossed. Also, can you... Don't play Last of Us 2, because we've seen that a million times. Well, I'm not going to stream Last of Us 2 until, like, it comes out on PC or something. But, we might we'll probably gonna play the Left Behind DLC of Last of Us 1. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Spell superior right.
Ugh, fuck. Did I misspell it? Fuck. Oh, Vince Gooderham chimed in. That's funny. Still hasn't responded. Where did I? Yeah, whatever. Superior. There we go. Thanks for the donation on Wib.
Conservatives are holding the government hostage over supposed culture wars.
They always say there are Democrats, Republicans, and appropriators, and now we have to say there are Democrats, Republicans, appropriators, and unfortunately a bigger umbrella called bigots.
Democratic Representative Mark Pocan is joining in on the frustration that the Democratic Party is apparently feeling in their debates over a new government spending bill. Now they need to pass that legislation before September. Otherwise, the government will experience yet another shutdown. But Republicans, according to the Democratic Party, have hijacked the process, especially in the House Appropriations Committee, where the spending bill is being mired in conservative culture war battles. So apparently the push on these social issues, and this is surprising to me because I feel like all government does these days is engage in culture war issues. But apparently when it comes to the House Appropriations Committee, this is pretty unusual. Usually they stick to what the Appropriations Committee is supposed to stick to, passing legislation that funds the government, that prevents things from shutting down. But apparently, of the 12 bills moving through the House appropriations process in recent months, policy writers targeting agency diversity, equity and inclusion initiatives have appeared in 11, and that's according to tracking from the Human Rights Campaign. Language seeking to ban discrimination against people who do not believe in gay marriage appeared in 10, and 8 sought to block funding for pride flags and gender inclusive care. 3 took aim at drag shows. So I want to get to some of the specifics of these provisions that are being offered up by the Republican Party in the House Appropriations Committee in just a moment. But Cenk, I think that this is the inevitable outcome of what we've been seeing in Congress for years now. Like the fact that, the Appropriations Committee has been different. Like they've kind of stayed out of all of this stuff. Is laughable to me. If that is true, it is unsurprising to me that it's now.
Well, it's not a particularly interesting story. It's not surprising though. Thanks for the nation, Matthew. Dodo donated tellers need to play Endling. Also, why do all Trump supporters always look the same? Like, look at them individually. Don't you feel like you've seen these people before? Well, they all dress the same, and there are, in fact, a lot of the same people who attend these rallies. But, yeah, most of these people are Midwestern fucking morons, so...
Remember to decompress periodically during stream. Before stream, grab a bunch of anal beads and insert one bead. Every hour, insert one more bead to decompress. After stream, poop the beads out slowly and jerk off. Take a video and send it to me.
Don't know if I'm gonna do that, but thanks for the advice. Ironically, butt plugs were actually invented as a mental health stress relieving advice. They weren't actually initially invented as sex toys. There's some weird psychologist who developed them thinking that dilating your anus reduced anxiety. But thanks for the donation, Wames Jade. Appreciate it. And thanks, Jalen, for the sub. Appreciate it.
What's going on, everybody? Vince Goodrum here. It is Saturday afternoon, about to hit the gym. wanted to address Sean Baker's claims that veganism causes mental illness, and of course he used Vegan Gains as an example of mental illness, which he makes a very compelling argument. He showed a bunch of videos to where
yeah, random clips out of context is not not evidence of mental illness. By the way, I think I still have it. Not sure if it's on this desktop. Yeah, I have a mental health assessment. I was involved in a court case where I had to get a mental health assessment, and I literally have a full report saved. And according to the, I think he's a psychiatrist, I'm mentally sane. So I was cleared by a professional, and apparently he's a pretty well-respected mental health professional. So, yeah.
Vegan Gains was...
Glad to see I am so popular. Did you eat before stream? How are you feeling tonight?
I didn't eat right before stream, but I did eat earlier today, and feeling pretty good, James. If you're down, I think I could do 300 sit-ups, 2 songs, the usual. Oh yeah, and when are you usually, awake? Because, I've been thinking of doing the streams earlier. But if you're not, free until around this time, I'll just keep streaming around this time. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam. Appreciate it.
Acting it, his normal self here would be the best way to describe it. But, unfortunately, I gotta tell Sean that he is wrong! Wrong! Vegan diets don't cause mental illness whatsoever, okay? Part of Richard's issue has nothing to do with veganism. If he was eating ribeye steaks and stuff like that, and there was a time many years ago where he wasn't a vegan and he still had these mental issues and stuff. I think part of it is because he's a beta male and he doesn't man up or anything like that. Sometimes people have problems there. He needs to just get over. He needs to, just man up with his problems here. But with that being said,
I don't know what the fuck that could possibly even mean.
Said veganism has nothing to do with it, Part of it is that he naturally does have mental issues because he's a beta. But another thing is that Richard is an extremist, and anything that you do in extremism results in craziness, to where you're so passionate about vegan.
Dodo donated $2. It's unreal how many Americans believe in UFOs now. It's really sickening, and the media and army is complicit. Also, you have to watch this. It's so enlightening and interesting.
I'm Jonna Mendez, a former CIA officer and a founding board member of the International Spy Museum. I'm here to answer some questions from Twitter.
I'll react to that in a minute. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Veganism, that you're willing to go and beat the shit out of someone or kill someone in order to make...
Oh yeah, the fucking fight's happening. I totally forgot. I'll watch it later.
Your point. And that's the same with these liberal terrorists, Antifa. It's the same with some Trump supporters, and stuff like that. There is extremism everywhere, period, And Sean, as far as mental illness is concerned, you can make the same argument for a former carnivore by the name of Frank Tufano. And everybody knows how crackers he is, But in other words,
yeah, I mean, holy shit. You will find far more just crazy fucking unhinged people in the carnivore community. I mean, the amount of anti-vaxxers, QAnon conspiracy theorists, people who are afraid of like Wi-Fi, EMF, who think like the Kennedy assassination, 9/11 was an inside job, like crap like that. You'll find way more of that in the carnivore community, and like especially more far right wing extremism. So people who are Holocaust revisionists and deniers, you're gonna find way more carnists who believe in that shit versus vegans.
you know, a diet does not make someone crazy. You know what I'm saying? It just simply doesn't. You know, I think Richard should eat some meat in order for him to be healthier, but it's not gonna do nothing.
Like, this is the guy who's telling me this, right?
About the cojones. So it's not veganism that makes you crazy or anything like that. It's not carnivorism.
First half. What is the earliest start time you were considering? As with my earlier suggestions, I like the idea. That would allow you to go to bed earlier and normalize your sleep schedule.
Yeah, so I was thinking of maybe doing streams like around late morning, early afternoon, so like maybe around 10 a.m. EST. Do streams, or like maybe around 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon, as opposed to 8 at night. So something like that. Because yeah, like usually right in the morning I'm at my computer anyway, and just for convenience it might be a little better for me. And yeah, like sleep too. Because if I start streaming basically when I wake up, streams are usually like around 5-6 hours, if that. I'd be able to get to bed at a normal time later in the day. But thanks for the donation, Sam. Really appreciate it.
Now, the shirt that I'm wearing, if you work there, that'll drive you crazy, that's for sure. But other than that, you know, diets don't cause people to go crazy. But
there is very little association between diet and mental health just in general. There are like moderate at best associations between diet and depression. But most of mental health is going to be environmental or genetic. So there's obviously a huge, huge link between genetics and things like schizophrenia. Massive. And as far as environmental factors, wealth is the biggest environmental factor when it comes to depression. But, like, again, when you're talking about things like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, you know, like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs type shit, that's pretty much entirely genetic.
Hi VG. Hope you are GR8 tonight. I love how much misinformation that is surrounding veganism and mental health, when most of the research is reverse causation. The one possible link is vegophobia, since discrimination is directly linked to poor mental health.
Well, that could be. There is, like, what it probably is, some of these smaller studies linking, you know, vegan diets with poor mental health. It's, like, yeah, it probably is reverse causation, but, like, there's a lot of behaviors that are sort of like self-coping. Like people have made a link between plant-based diets and anorexia and eating disorders. Well, if you're anorexic, and you want to like lose weight or make it easier to lose weight, you're probably going to gravitate towards plant-based foods because they are more associated with weight loss. So it's not really that like a plant-based diet triggers anorexia. It's just that like somebody with anorexia is more likely to eat that way. There probably is a similar thing going on with some of these smaller studies linking veganism with mental health. People with poor mental health might try as a coping mechanism to improve their diet, and they tend to do more like plant-based eating to try to make themselves feel better. Because like, you know, if you're eating candy and garbage and bullshit, you're probably not going to feel great. But if you're eating more whole plant foods, fruits, vegetables, you might actually start feeling a bit better. Something like that might be going on. And then, yeah, obviously a lot of vegans are mistreated and shit like that. So that would also be an effect. The best, most robust research shows plant-based diets actually seem to be associated with better mental health too. So if you actually look at large-scale prospective cohorts, Sean just cherry picks nonsense.
Why does everyone think a late sleep schedule needs to be fixed if sleeping late and waking up late works for you and you can still work and get everything you need to do done? Then what's the problem exactly? Some people work late, so what's to fix?
Sleeping late isn't necessarily a problem in and of itself
as much,
but I would like to kind of get to bed earlier, personally. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Still hasn't replied. When did he upload this? 9 hours ago. I don't know what time zone he's in either, and he is a boomer, so he's probably not looking at his shit constantly, but I'm going to bet he's just going to try to avoid me. I don't know if this debate is ever going to happen. He's kind of known for just ignoring any criticism. So we'll see. Groundbreaking new study reveals crazy facts about LDL cholesterol, so they say. Maybe react to that one later.
How about, say, 1500 hours to 2100 hours? That would allow you time to do both resistance training and computer work, plus giving you the flexibility to also go out and about. Feel up to doing both the complete loot work and 750 sit-ups.
Shit. Hour of twerking, 750 sit-ups. Maybe tomorrow, James. I don't think tonight would be a great time, but maybe tomorrow.
I stopped worrying about trying to go to bed early and wake up early a long time ago cause I realized for my occupation it's not necessary at all, so I stopped stressing about fixing a sleep schedule that didn't need to be fixed. Watch CIA vid now.
I'll do that in just a moment, Dodo. Thanks for the donation. And, yeah, like, I mean, if you're fine with your sleep pattern, whatever, but, I would like to be able to sleep at night. Thanks again, man. Yeah, so, 1500 hours, that would be 3 p.m. to, 9? That'd be 6 hours. Yeah, if you're around in the, like, early afternoon, I guess, or early evening, I could do that. I'll try streaming around 3. Yeah, Sean, or I mean, Sam, I don't think I'll do the long twerk and 750 sit-ups tonight. I have some longer videos that I want to get through that are going to take a while. And I don't think I'm, like, quite mentally prepared to do that tonight either. But I might take you up on that, like, maybe tomorrow. Thanks for the donation, though, dude. Really appreciate it. Ah, fuck.
What's going on? All I gotta say for right now, smash that.
Okay, then. Let's see.
This is spy support. At Spicy Lime 415 asks, do spies have anxiety? I think all spies have anxiety. You want to make sure you're not setting someone up for a situation because you forgot a detail. When the anxiety really kicks in, though, is when one of your people is incarcerated, is arrested. In Moscow, I felt anxiety all the time. Moscow, I thought, was kind of scary. In 1985, 10 of our Russian assets were arrested and executed, 10 of them in a summer. That kind of anxiety is built into the job. There's nothing you can do about it except when you're working, make sure that you absolutely respect the protocols that we have to go through, the level of detail that's required to carry off an operation. At Rosemary Chalet 1 asks, what are CIA handlers? What you're calling CIA handlers, I'm calling CIA case officers. They get the requirement from the government. We want to know about nuclear program in this country A. They go to country A. They go looking for people who know the information about country A. Once they meet them, they try and recruit them to work for us. And then we get the information back to our policymakers. Cut and dry. At IMK Johnston, has anyone seen the movie Argo? Just about to watch it. The story in the movie Argo is really a great demonstration of the kinds of things that CIA may find itself involved in. A rescue of 6 perfectly innocent American diplomats didn't have anything to do with espionage except that the rescue. At Pybri Pro asks CIA, MI6, and KGB, FSB, how do they develop soft skills like situational awareness, social engineering, blending in and creating believable cover stories? What combat training do they receive? CIA had a paramilitary capability and decided to more or less step away from it. After 9/11, CIA stepped back up to paramilitary and has embraced it. I know they do train in some of the harder skills, in shooting, in driving, and being in hostile situations. We have a facility where we train people. It's called the Farm. A lot of people have heard.
Yeah, fucking blah, huh?
The Farm is located south of Washington, D.C. They actually put on diplomatic events at the Farm, and you are an attendee all dressed up, and there's someone in that room who has information that you're looking for, and part of the training is to see if you can narrow it down to that person by just having conversations. At Sigma Theory asks, what makes a good spy? What we're recruiting for when we're looking for spies, and we're talking about case officers here, is a charismatic, intelligent, well-educated, well-traveled guy, mostly, but it's more and more women. Someone you'd meet somewhere and you'd instantly want to be their friend. There are people like this around the world. Our job is to find them because we cannot teach them that. We can teach them everything else they need to know once we get them on board. But that charisma, they have to bring it in the door with them. At Mary Marciniak asks, no signs of me being followed. Me, am I being followed? Seeing someone who looks suspicious once is not such a big deal. If you see something just like us would come out. Next question. You know the whole spy thing is cyanide and a fake tooth where they bite down and poison themselves. How often do you think those go off accidentally? Like someone is just enjoying a nice hard candy and then oops, dead. In my 27 years, I only knew of 2 instances where we gave out cyanide, and I knew where they were because the steel box containing it was in my safe. The Russians floated stories around that if they caught their people spying for America, they would feed them feet first into a crematorium alive. Most people in Russia that spied for us had that in the back of their minds, and they thought they'd rather take the cyanide themselves than take the chance.
Cyanide can take hours to kill you. It's not something
I am willing to kick in extra money. If you are game, I will, right now, pay in advance, $1,500 for the fun tomorrow night. Remember, take a 5 to 10 minute break each hour. What time would you like to start the long work?
Maybe I'll stream early tomorrow just so I have more time for the long twerk. So, maybe around like 5 or 6 tomorrow night. I'll maybe start the stream at around 2, 3 in the afternoon. Something like that. Sure, why not? I'll do the long twerk and the shit ton of sit-ups tomorrow night. Yeah. Thanks for the donation, Sam. Appreciate it. He changes his name. Sam right now. But thanks, Sam.
That the Russians meant that and would do it. It was very effective. We didn't hand it out like it was candy. It wasn't candy. It was lethal. And I do know that cyanide really, really works.
Yeah, cyanide can take hours to kill you. Basically, it stops your cells from being able to uptake oxygen, so it's basically...
Please react to this.
Okay, I'll react to that in a minute. Thanks for the donation, Matthew. So basically, it's like suffocating to death, but you're still technically able to breathe, but your like body can't breathe. But it can take hours, a really, really fucking long time. So if you're gonna take cyanide to avoid like torture, you're in all likelihood gonna torture yourself anyway. You're just gonna suffocate to death for a really long, drawn-out period.
Jenny X asks, does anyone know?
Let me take a look.
Houston Independent School District is eliminating librarians. Yes, you heard me right. Eliminating librarians at 28 schools this next school year. And some of those schools, the libraries will be converted to so-called team centers for kids with behavioral issues. Now, Click 2 Houston reported on this and
Well, yeah, these are Republicans. They want to get rid of school libraries, and they're not able to give any particular reason for why they're doing it. The GOP and conservatives in general always try to fuck up public school systems in any way they can. And it's probably, again, them just trying to dismantle the public school system and then wear it down to the point where, like, there's just zero funding left, and then the only option is private schools. That's what I'm guessing why they're... But they haven't really given any particular reason for why they want to get rid of these libraries. Thanks for the donation, though, Matthew.
Of a good small spy camera. I was a photographer when I first joined the CIA. That was my gig. And this camera was part of my account. This pin camera, a camera in the end. Inside of the camera is a film cassette, and inside of the cassette is a little piece of film. It's about 13 inches long. It'd have 100 black dots on it after you develop it, and each black dot would be an 8.5 by 11 page of information. Where the paperwork is lying from his last meeting, we only gave these pens to people that could get right up to the person who was making the policy we were after. You had to hold it at a certain distance. You can take the picture. This is a KGB lighter. They were actually technically very, very good. So
Matthew donated $2. Stuff like this makes me fear for the future of our species. Well, as long as the Republicans don't really get too much power, I think we'll be fine. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
I can't disparage it, but if it was a CIA lighter, it would actually light. And _Reese asks, do spies get paid a lot of money like...
And the best cover is always based on truth. I have occasionally run covers to get rid of overly friendly people. Being a multilingual Anglophone also has its advantages. Choose 2 new dance songs tonight, first half.
All right, well, thank you, Sam. Really appreciate that, dude. 2 new dance songs. All right. I'll look for ones I haven't done before. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
People who spy on other countries? And the answer at _Reese is no. They don't pay us enough. They pay us flat government salaries, just like anybody else. You work at GSA, you work at IRS, wherever you work in the government, we're on the same pay scale as them. Now, the assets that are working for us, the foreigners who are providing us with the intelligence that we need, depending on the value of the intelligence, they can make big amounts of money. There's a man in this museum, Adolf Tolkachev. It's called the Bill.
Pick Me writes a love song for Nazis, but the Nazi penis didn't pick her.
Welcome back to Pizzle.
Well, yeah, we already reacted to that last night. Like, you can see how happy and excited she is for this whole interview. Like, she's laughing and shit the whole time. She made this pro-Nazi song in the hopes that she would get attention and traffic would be drawn to her channel. Like, this was a whole clout game for her. And it's not going to work. Like, if you have to do this sort of desperate shit to get attention, your lifespan as a social media influencer is going to be incredibly fucking short. If this is the only thing you can do for people to watch you. So, yeah, once she's in a position where this doesn't make money anymore and nobody fucking gives a shit about her in the next, like, 6 months, she's gonna have to get a real fucking job, and she's not gonna be able to get a job because every fucking employer is gonna see this interview and gonna see the fucking pro-Nazi song she put out, and she's never going to get hired anywhere aside from, like, maybe really shitty menial labor jobs. Even then, she might have a problem. I doubt Walmart would ever hire her. And it's either that or she's just going to have to live off her rich parents for the rest of her life. She's just a fucking pathetic loser. Thanks for the donation, though, TT.
Billion-dollar spy because of the intelligence that he gave to the Pentagon. While we didn't pay him $1 billion, the Pentagon said his intelligence was worth $1 billion. Adolf Tolkachev made a lot of money, except that he got caught, and then they executed him. So I don't...
James Wade donated $2. Twerk to this.
All aboard the toxic gospel train. Chugging down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gospel train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic gossip train. Time into the tracks and facts become the best. These rumors look like facts if you don't mind the gaps.
Damn.
I won't survive in the crash, but hey.
I don't think I'll do that. This woman is a pathetic, cancerous piece of shit. She was preying upon a minor, sending, like, really inappropriate messages. I think she sent this underage boy her underwear at one point, trying to groom him. And then this got out, and then she made this, like, fucking horrific apology video. I don't know what the fuck you could really call it, but I think she made it unwatchable, like, intentionally, so that, like, her own fan base wouldn't be willing to watch it. Like, it was so bad. She should be in jail, honestly. Like, I can guarantee you there's guys, like, men that are in jail who've done shit like this. And she is, so far, has just gotten off.
Go on the Crucible, they are live. Andrew said you dodged Zen for vegan debate. He was just saying now lol, did you get offered? He said you stopped responding when they set a date.
What? You're lying. Andrew didn't message me. What?
Channelers. And my channeling, how I do it is,
You're full of
first of all,
shit.
I need to relax myself.
Manipulation tactics, which is hypnosis, and being able to get other people to do who.
And then whatever.
I'll message Andrew later to see if we can set up a debate, like a round 3 with Zen. But thanks, Dodo. Renee donated $3, says damn. Let me see. Larimer County Sheriff's deputy tased a fleeing 28-year-old man onto an active highway where he is ran over and killed. Who is in the wrong here? Oh, fuck. It's probably gonna look stupid.
Start the fun at 1800 hours and the deal is sealed. Here is how I would recommend doing it. 1. When you start, it will be continuous. 2. Sit-ups first and then the long work. BTW, I also like trains.
Yeah, trains are great. Trains are very relaxing. Always wanted to go on like a really, really long cross-country train ride. I also really like train bridges. Like these big up-high bridges that trains cross. I really like these too. But 1800 hours, that would be not used to a 24-hour clock. 6, yeah, that'd be 6 p.m. Okay. I can do that, and you want the twerk to be continuous, so just keep going. I can do that for you. Thanks for the donation, Sam. Appreciate it. Alright. Let's take a look at this horrible cop video.
Richard Burgess. It's time. Time to change your fucking profile picture on YouTube. That shit has been there for fucking years. Change it. Flubbity glubbity fubatu no poppet uf grebuimo prumping tude cummertame fugeromrem 777 flubbity glubbity rimriemo bemop.
I'll consider it. Thanks for the donation, Poopy Stinks.
Rolling down the window for me?
Yeah, sorry, it's just a cat, and then I was vaping my nicotine.
Gotcha. Can you step out for me?
Yeah, what's the problem? Yeah, please stay. Can I roll up the window?
That's fine, yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, well, he got out of the car. I don't know if this was just a normal routine traffic stop. If it is, I don't know why you'd bother. Yeah, I love these fucking replies. If he didn't flee, he wouldn't have gotten tased and run over. I love this shit. Fucking bootlickers who make excuses for the police. One of the mandates as a cop is the protection of life. If your actions lead to somebody's death, even though you could say, well, if he didn't run away, if he didn't comply, he wouldn't have died. Well, it's still your fucking responsibility. If you're part of the causal chain that resulted in somebody's death, you're responsible. So if these cops didn't tase him and he lived, but they made a choice that resulted in somebody's death, then they failed their responsibility as a police officer. Like this idea that, oh, you deserve to die because you didn't comply with the police. Like, fuck you. Fucking hate people like that.
Tim, keep your hands where I can see them.
Yeah.
Come back here. I'm gonna pat you down just to make sure you don't have any weapons on you, okay? You can relax.
So, again, seems like a routine traffic stop. The guy complied without any kind of hesitation or complaint, got out of the car. They did a basic pat down and they couldn't detect any knives or firearms. I'm just wondering why they would have tased him if he ran away. Like, that's not necessarily illegal.
Let's go and put that stuff on the so, did you give me the right name?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jacob Todd Jones.
Okay. Why don't you give me the right name?
It is the right name.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Brent, I know. So, right now you're under arrest.
So he gave a false name. Dude, like, I just don't understand the psychology. So he gave a false name for whatever reason. Okay. Like, it's just... I don't get it. Like, alright, call a tow truck, impound his car. If it's stolen, then give it back to the owner. Like, whatever. Oh my god. Yeah, because, like, right now, you're not really sure if the guy is actually involved in any criminal activity. I mean, you can assume so because he gave a false name, but you are innocent until proven guilty. So right now, like, all you have is him being suspected of giving a false name. So, alright, let him run off. Impound his vehicle and whatever items that he has in the fucking car. Who fucking cares? Like, I just can't imagine having the kind of psychology where this random fucking, like, 20-year-old kid running off near a highway, I'd have any kind of impulse to chase after him. Like, alright, bye, I guess I'll call a tow truck for you. Like,
stop! You're gonna get tased! Stop!
this is really weird. He is so far away, let's see what actually happened. Okay, it looks like he got fairly close. Good job, dipshit. Yeah, make sure you're okay. You know, you see the car coming. Just make sure you get out of the way, but leave the kid there. Yeah, fuck that cop. So this, to me, is similar to a situation like the train. Like them putting a suspect in the back of their vehicle and leaving their car on the train tracks. If you tase and incapacitate a suspect in the middle of a fucking highway, in the dead of night, where there's, like, really poor visibility, you killed this kid. Like, that's an execution. They killed him. What sensible adult would think, let me incapacitate somebody where they're lying flat on a fucking dark highway where people are traveling like 80 miles an hour, where they're probably not going to be able to see him or react in time. That's an execution. So this cop should be put in jail for manslaughter. And like, I'm sure you could pack on other charges like gross negligence or something like that. But yeah, that's so fucked. And these idiots are like, if he didn't flee, he wouldn't have gotten tased and run over. Yeah, and if that fucking cop wasn't a fucking retard and incapacitated somebody when they're in the middle of a fucking highway in the dead of night, he would have been alive. Like, you don't even know if this kid committed any fucking crimes. He might have been mentally ill. He might have been fucking paranoid about the police for... Like, again, when somebody runs away from the fucking police and they end up dead, like, doesn't that fucking suggest to you that they might have the right idea that the police are fucking dangerous? I don't understand when people are so confused why, people run away from the police. This guy ended up fucking dead. The cop did something so fucking stupid here that he ended up dead, and then you're questioning why he ran away. Maybe he had the right idea that cops are fucking dangerous morons, and that's why he ran away. You have no idea. And then fucking assholes defend the cops, saying, oh, well, if he just complied, everything would have been fucking fine. Holy fuck, dude. Yeah, so that's an execution. Cop killed the guy. He should at least get a manslaughter charge. The very least. Like, when you have, like, negligence to that fucking degree, where you have to be so fucking stupid, where it seems like it would have to be intentional. Honestly, I think he should be charged with homicide in the first degree. Especially, like, I think cops should be held at a higher standard especially. But, like, if you got into a fight with a cop and you tasered a cop and you did it in the middle of a fucking highway and then the cop gets killed, like, you're not just gonna get a manslaughter charge. You're gonna get fucking put away for the rest of your life. Like, why the hell aren't the cops held to the same standard? Like, that's fucked.
I love how much of a fucking hypocrite Biden is when he says climate change is an existential threat while allowing big oil and gas to drill more and even lobbied the meat and dairy industries too.
Biden calls climate change existential threat, introduces nominee for energy interior EPA event, promises to rejoin Paris Climate Accord. Well, Biden has done some pretty good things for combating climate change. He did reclassify CO2 as a pollutant so that the EPA could actually do their job. Like, you can't expect the pendulum to swing too quickly when it comes to things like climate action, but it's certainly a move in the right direction. Thanks for the donation, though, Bend Over.
You would like the Pecos River High Bridge. You could ride the classic Canadian.
Let me see. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That is a nice tall bridge, indeed. Yeah, I might do a big long train journey across the country at some point. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam. Appreciate it. What?
Trains are shit to travel.
No, not if it's a good train.
If you're gonna go across the country, most of them will all be shit.
You want to put your boob in my hand? Put your boob in my hand.
No, you're on stream.
Yeah, but you'd be off stream. Put your boob in my hand. Come on. Put your boob in my hand. That's
so
good.
Annoying.
That's a good boob.
Let me put your boob in my hand.
Thanks for the boob, sweetie. Appreciate the donation, Sam. Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
I would have explained to him that since he gave me a false name, I would have explained that, for his safety and mine, I will need for him to sit in the back of my cruiser while we sort this out. I may have also placed light restraints on his arms.
The whole situation was a little strange. Anytime you tell a suspect they're under arrest, they're going to be a flight risk. So, considering he was planning on arresting the guy anyway, and he was being completely compliant, and, like, again, he was able to get his hands outstretched while he was doing a basic pat-down, I don't know why he wouldn't have just cuffed him while that was going on. Like, there's so many things that were a little strange in that whole interaction, but I don't see that, like, him tasering him in the middle of the highway as any different than when they put that woman in the back of the cruiser on the train tracks. You're just deliberately putting somebody in imminent danger for no reason. Why couldn't he have tasered him when he was off the highway, or before he jumped on, or grabbed him and just thrown him to the side? Like, he's a 20-year-old kid, like, skinny too. There are just so many different ways to handle that. Like, maybe not even bother running after him. Like, again, they don't even know if he committed a crime. The only thing they know is that he gave a false name. So who fucking cares? Like, in all likelihood, oh, like, maybe that kid's selling drugs, or that's a stolen car. Whatever. Like, you have him on camera, you have the fucking vehicle and whatever the fuck's in it. So if it's his car, it's going to be easy to track him down. If it isn't his car, well, at least you can find who the original owner is and everything like that. And then you have whatever evidence you need to find out his identity and arrest him later. Like, why the fuck even bother chasing after somebody if you're not... You have no idea what crime they could have even possibly committed. And especially if how you're going to apprehend the guy is going to put either of you in imminent danger. Like, what's the point? Like, police are so fucking stupid. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam. Appreciate it.
I think he had time to spend it. At Taku_0_0, he says, it's crazy how the CIA has 3 levels of disguise. Like, it sounds fun to go to level 3 to, like, your high school reunion. I basically break disguise down into 2 levels. You have regular disguise and you have advanced disguise. Regular disguise is what you think it is. It's mustaches and wigs and all the accoutrements that you can put on to change the way you look. Advanced disguise takes it way up to another level where you're...
Group of teens cowardly kick a guy together and don't even know how to fire a gun.
They're just random dudes who might be, like, homeless or something. What the fuck? Oh my god. Why the fuck are they doing this? Dude, it's too bad, that guy didn't have a gun so we could just shoot them all. What the fuck? Did he have an SBR? Under his sweater? That looks like an SBR. Yeah. What? This guy had an SBR hidden under his sweater, and it was getting in the way of him beating up this guy, so he just took it out and laid it on the ground? And in front of a security camera. I hope they all get arrested. What is going on here? And then this retard has some pistol with an extended mag. Just because it's cool. I'm assuming he's also stupid enough to have, like, a auto sear. So they seem like the type of retards. What the fuck, bro? Yeah, what the shit? The same people actually went in to grab shit from the gas station. I hope every single one of them got arrested and they're, like, put away. Well, this is what gun control gives you. Absolutely no gun control, and you have 15-year-olds walking around with fucking ARs and, full auto Glocks. Where's he firing the gun? Well, you're not going to be very accurate, shooting like that. Wait, what did that one say? Bullets landing. Oh, somebody's firing at him. Okay, so there's a gang shootout now.
Obvious question, why would the driver be there that late? Was the red vehicle driver one of the robbers?
Oh, you mean, in this video? This doesn't look like a robbery. This looks like a bunch of gang members hanging out at a gas station, and then some other gang members started shooting at them, and then they started shooting back. That's what it looks like. This doesn't look like a robbery. But, yeah, if you ever wonder why there's so many, like teenagers who get killed in these firearm statistics that you see, like, from the CDC, well, this is why. It's because most of these gang members are teenagers and they're fucking retarded. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam. Faceless donated $2. Was he in the right to shoot? I'll look at that in a second. Thanks for the donation, Faceless. Just want to finish this video. Ugh. Like, what do they think they're gonna hit if they're firing like that? Like, these kids must play Call of Duty, right? Like, how the fuck do you not learn how to at least have basic, you know, firing discipline? You'd think a video game would give you at least that sort of knowledge where you should, like, aim and fire. Really weird. Well, they're fucking brilliant. I don't even know if there's any license plates on these two cars. So they don't have front plates. I don't know what he's hanging around for. Well, that was a little retarded. Let me see, faceless. Baltimore officer shoots 17-year-old suspect after refusing to drop gun. I'll look at that.
Gives Pearl reasonable/public-facing questions she could ask to give her Holocaust denialism a patina of respectability.
To far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
Why can't we?
Why is Destiny giving advice on how to make Holocaust denialism seem reasonable? I might skim through that, but I'll probably react to that on like another stream or something, because we have a fair bit of shit to get through. Thanks for that donation, TT. Think audio normally turns on at 28 seconds. Oh, that's weird. Usually it's 30 seconds roughly. This is a full minute that audio doesn't turn on their body cams.
The new charges against Trump are hilarious. They revealed he asked his butler to do a bunch of sketchy shit, and the butler dude got a landscaper to help him gang up against the IT guy to manipulate him to delete servers. IT guy was like, nah, and snitched.
Oh man, that's funny. Dude, Trump's so fucked. Well, that is pretty based of that IT guy. Thanks for the donation, Caleb. Trump is so fucking stupid. What? Yeah. Just wondering the reason for this initial stop, because you have a cop sitting down here. Looks like he's chatting with another officer. I don't know if that's another officer or what. And then these two dudes are walking by, and then he starts following them. I just wonder what the reason for the initial stop was. Reports of a person displaying characteristics of an armed individual. Okay, so they got a call that somebody was armed, and they just were sitting around, and they stopped these dudes. Body cam vid shows Detective Cedric Ellaby sitting on a stoop next to 17-year-old Mecky Franklin before the teen walked away. Okay, so they were talking to the officer or something. Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said the officer was in the Southwest Baltimore neighborhood, engaging with residents before a foot pursuit happened. Oh, okay, wait, that was the other kid. As they rounded a corner, police ordered Franklin to drop his weapon multiple times. After refusing, drop the weapon, blah, blah, blah. That's a cell phone.
Come here. What, bro? Come here.
You know, I will I will say this. A lot of these interactions are kind of misunderstood. Like, Baltimore has some really fucking rough areas, you know, same with a lot of cities like Chicago, where if you're a young black male and you're living in the wrong neighborhood, there are people who would literally just shoot and kill you for no reason. Just because you happen to live in the wrong neighborhood. Like, everybody knows about O Block in Chicago. Like, if you live in that building, there are gang members who will shoot and kill you even though you're not affiliated with a gang, but just because you live in that apartment block. So there are a lot of people who carry firearms illegally for self-defense. Like, not because they're gang members, but legitimately because they're people who would literally fucking kill them. So some of these stops are, like, kind of stupid. I think the whole concept of gun control is fucking stupid. People shouldn't be arrested just because they're carrying a gun. They should be arrested if they're using a firearm in an unlawful manner. So, if this guy is just walking around with a gun, I don't know how that's a, like, I don't know how that's evidence of a crime being committed or about to be committed, like, especially given circumstances of, like, the neighborhood and everything.
Stop! Put the gun down! Put the gun down! Put the...
That was totally and utterly unjustified. So for one thing, I don't even see him holding a gun. Maybe it's the shitty camera. I don't know if he's even holding anything.
Stop! Put the gun down!
Do any of you see him holding a gun? Like, it's really low quality, so maybe he is, but... Okay, yeah, I see it here. It's, so, when you're gonna give an order, put the gun down, and then shoot him while you're saying it. Like, why even tell him to put the gun down? Like, if you're gonna give a lawful order, but not give the person the opportunity to follow the lawful order.
Put the... Stop! Put the gun down! Put the gun down!
Put the gun down, bang bang.
Put the...
So, yeah, secondly, again, I know there's the law, but, like, again, the guy just had a gun. That's not evidence enough to know if a crime is being committed or about to be committed. So, on principle, I have an issue with this, but I understand, like, the law and everything, and this cop has a duty to uphold the law. But, like, he didn't even give the guy, like, an opportunity to follow the lawful order.
Shots fired, shots fired.
I think he should have waited. And given the guy an actual opportunity to follow the order, and if he didn't, and say he either turned around to face the officer, or if he was too fast for the officer to keep up with, then I'd say the shooting could be justified. But this guy was just running from the police. The whole reason for the stop is only because there's a firearm on him, which I don't see why there'd be a fucking problem for somebody to own a gun. And when he gave the order for him to drop the firearm, he literally shot him immediately after he finished saying it. He didn't even give the guy an opportunity to follow the order.
Shots fired. Let me help you out. Let me help you out. Back up.
Okay, it says officer shoots 17-year-old suspect. It sounds like he wasn't, yeah, he wasn't killed. At least he lived.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up!
Yeah, so, nobody wants him there. It's like, and I mean, this sort of response is justified. It's like, okay, well, here's a fucking teenage kid lying on the ground, shot by some cop, and what did he do exactly? Like, again, they're just chasing after him because he had a firearm on him, and you don't even know why he had the firearm. Like, sure, he could be gang affiliated, but he could also just carry a firearm for self-defense.
Back up!
Well, fuck the police. Who knows? Like, especially the type of firearm here. Pretty bizarre setup. Yeah, it's like a subcompact Smith & Wesson, but he has a really long extended magazine. And it's wrapped in, like, shoelace? Yeah, okay, so he was a drug dealer. Looks like that was found on his person, too. But, yeah, I would just question the initial reason for the stop. I don't know where they found, like, the firearm on him. If it was, like, tucked into his waistband or something. I don't like the idea of chasing somebody down just because you see them with a firearm. I think they should, like, there should be some evidence that they're committing a crime with the firearm for you to arrest somebody. But, at least, the guy lived, anyway. I think the biggest mistake the cop did, given all the circumstances, is he didn't give the guy an opportunity to follow the order that was given. He just said, drop the gun, then shot at him immediately, which he should have given him, like, at least a moment to actually comply. Enrique Rodriguez, $20. What would you rate Joey's performance on his debate with Tristyn on a scale of 1 to 10? Absolute 0. He did absolutely nothing. He didn't make an argument, and in fact, a lot of what he said was antithetical to the idea of veganism. He talked about welfare rather than animal rights. So he didn't even give a vegan argument. He made welfarist arguments, and I would suspect the majority of Tate's audience could rationalize welfarist arguments by saying, well, I just make sure I buy like organic free range meat, so no problem. Like he didn't even make a single rights-based argument. It was terrible. He completely and utterly shat the bed. Thanks for the donation though, Enrique. Appreciate it. Booty Cum $20. Can you watch this? Keep watching all.
Man, what's up, everybody?
How Sweezy became Lil Piru, the internet gangster. I don't know if we'll watch this tonight. Thanks for the nation, though, Booty Cum.
Did the suspect survive?
He did. He was able to survive. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam. I think we're done. This video.
Once you shoot that bullet, you are responsible for it. The more I study violence, the more I want to avoid it. Also, how many of these officers have hearing issues after a shot is fired? The overpressure can blow out eardrums.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, you do have like mild hearing damage where like the upper threshold of what you can hear, so like really low noises, it kind of just becomes deadened. But in terms of like your ability to hear basic sounds like clarity and everything, it stays the same. I don't think it's terribly common to have things like blown out eardrums. I've actually heard of somebody get a blown out eardrum from only shooting a .22 caliber rifle. So I think you need specific set of circumstances for that to happen. But like I've seen quite a few people, police included, but also like what's it called? Like Green Berets who have had to, you know, be in full-on shootouts for hours without any hearing protection. And they've had hearing tests done, and like again, the upper threshold of what they can hear, like really low noises, is completely deadened, but otherwise their hearing's normal. So they have like slightly worse hearing than your average person. So like these are people who've like done.
Ready to do sit-ups and twerk?
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing the sit-ups soon while we react to this one stupid anti-vegan video. Thanks for that donation though, Sam. Yeah, so like if you can shoot a Mark 18 for like a few hours without any hearing protection and be fine, I don't think you're at huge risk of having completely blown out eardrums, but you should obviously wear hearing protection if you can.
Gearis, my old friend. It's been eons. It's good to see you.
Likewise, Lord Liu Kang. Duty is my highest calling.
Gearis is the guardian of the Hourglass, a celestial object which lies beyond the realms. The Hourglass regulates time and destiny.
I'm a little disappointed that Sonya and Kano, at least for the time being, seem like they're only going to be, what is it, like the they're only gonna be, they're not gonna be playable. They're only the cameo characters.
Watched you with the hourglass. You are relishing your role as Earthrealm's protector.
Those with power must know how to use it wisely.
When you restarted history, you altered the destinies of certain malefactors to neutralize them.
Crafting a timeline is a complex endeavor.
Your vision of peace may already be compromised.
Don't know why the quality was set to low. Yeah, MK1 looks sick though. I'm excited.
Hey man, what's your max bench at the moment?
I don't know right now. I tore my tricep. It would be lower. I'd probably be able to do like maybe 330 or something. But yeah, I tore my tricep and I'm still recovering from it. Before it would have been about 380. Thanks for the donation though, 24 Swiffer. Appreciate it. Bootycomb to Nutellers, Lenny's reacting setup is better than yours, Richard.
Brad just said he's not aggravated, but he gets aggravated at some of the comments. Brad, that is why I refer to you as a comment queen. If you read comments, for you to show any type of emotion, let alone express that you're showing emotion, you have been defeated. You have let... Let's continue.
I don't do these very often. Four doses of that, who knows? I'm sure it's a number of things.
Man, Lenny is a fucking boomer. I don't think he is as technologically inclined as me, but thanks for the donation, Bootycam. Alright, let's get to the meat and potatoes, so to speak.
Misunderstood.
So this is the ex-vegan moron.
Receiving mountains of judgment online, disappointing others, and disrupting a sphere I care so deeply for. Here, they've been present as I began my career online. Had this overflowing of love for animals, like a cup that became so full, it began pouring out from
It's a really nice chicken.
every side, and it started to permeate into other areas of my life too. You stayed. Before I was an activist, before I was a vegan and took on these labels.
Alright, I'm just gonna fucking skip to the why no longer vegan part.
So let's get into the mud of this conversation, no holdbacks. I took off the label vegan, but certainly not my love for animals, all things, all creation.
Well, that is oxymoronic. If you're going to be okay with exploitation and murder, I don't know how you can say that your love for animals hasn't changed.
Did you hear that Red Dead 1 is coming to PC? Would be dope if you played it.
Yeah, I heard they're gonna make a remaster of Red Dead 1, and they're gonna make a PC port. I think it's still a rumor, but it's probably gonna happen. Yeah, I'd play it. Red Dead 1 was better than Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead 1 was technically open world, but it really was a linear story and game. They really should have kept it like that, because like with Red Dead 2, there was very little to actually explore. There were some interesting side missions, but they're kind of few and far between, and they might as well have just stuck to the sort of linear, high action sort of gameplay, because they just made the game fucking boring as shit. Like the reality is, yeah, if you go back in time, like, 150 years, there's nothing to do. Like there's just dirt, wilderness, nothing. So the only way to keep a game like that interesting is to just have it focused around, things like shootouts. Or at least some other, like, high action thing going on, like chases or something, but yeah, Red Dead 2 is just fucking boring, and it meandered like crazy. Red Dead 1 was actually really fun and exciting. Thanks for the nation, though, Renee. I'm just gonna get the sit-up board set up. All right.
In fact, I feel like I can love deeper now, not because my way is the best way or the only way or the highest standard. It's just my truth. And nothing feels better, more liberating.
Oh, there you go. There's a cat in the background. You want to bet she feeds her cat meat?
Than living in your truth. I'll be the first one to say how I lived the vegan lifestyle, because there are many ways to do it. As many ways as there are people, was beautiful. It has cleansed my body, nourished my soul, and allowed me to reclaim my health from chronic challenges by eating a mostly whole food plant-based diet loaded with
She has a tattoo that says speciesism crossed out, and then she's quitting veganism. Oh my god, what a poser.
Chronic challenges by eating a mostly whole food plant-based diet loaded with healthy fats, organic vegetables and fruits, colorful plates, a balance.
You might have to get a surgery when it comes to muscular or tendinous tears, depending on The type and severity of the tear.
Elon Musk put up a horrendous sign to signal the rebranding of Twitter. San Francisco City says it sucks and are forcing him to take it the fuck down.
Oh my god. No way. What a fucking asshole. Yeah, let me just annoy everybody and fucking blind them with this insanely bright fucking pulsing light. What a dipshit. Oh my god, Twitter's just done. Yeah, he's renaming it X. What a fucking asshole. Thanks for the donation, Caleb.
Balance between cooked and raw foods, more raw than cooked sometimes, others more cooked than raw. Nourishing elements like sea moss that I turn into gels to add to morning smoothies. Fermented foods that feed the good gut bugs. Barely any processed sugar, processed foods for that matter. By eating all of this vibrancy, I mitigated my symptoms of PCOS, endometriosis, cleared cystic acne, became more...
Yeah, I'm going to bet she never fed her cat a vegan diet. This person was probably never vegan. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Fucking Brian Turner did a video with Simnet. And I left a comment. Yeah, Simnet isn't vegan. A fucking idiot. Oh my god. I can't stand these people. Oh, bro. Please explain to me how I have a 2-year-old cat that has been fed a vegan diet since he was about 8 weeks old. If cats die on a vegan diet. As long as you're feeding them commercial vegan cat food that's properly formulated, cats can be vegan. Oh my god, dude. I also don't understand how this is an excuse to pay for animals to be murdered just so that you can feed one other animal. If he was vegan, he wouldn't have gotten the cat if he would have had to feed it meat. Like, I can't fucking get over these fucking assholes. Yeah, I'm gonna message Brian about this, because he literally made a video with Simnet, what 2 vegans eat in a day to gain muscle, featuring Simnet. He shouldn't be calling Simnet vegan. Like, he's just not. Let's see. Hey dude, saw the video you uploaded with Simnet. He is not vegan. He feeds his cat meat, and he decided to get a cat with the intention of feeding it meat. The guy is a fake vegan poser who pays for animals to be tortured and murdered. If you want to be friends with him or whatever, that's one thing, but you shouldn't be posting videos. I don't know if we'll say gaslighting. You shouldn't be posting videos claiming the guy is vegan when he isn't. He's also an incredibly manipulative, gaslighting liar. Just ask him about his cat and if he'd be willing to have a private chat with me about it. The guy will make up... Well, actually, just ask him why he decided... Wait, the guy is also a manipulative, selfish gaslighter. Just ask him why he got a cat knowing beforehand he would feed it meat if he's vegan. The guy will dodge and make up stupid excuses, and all he'll be able... And he'll just have to admit that he got a cat just because he wanted a cat and didn't care if he'd have to harm other animals. I've also tried to reach out to him about this and tell him he can feed a cat a vegan diet, but he won't listen to me or anyone. I have a two-year-old cat that's been vegan since he was about 8 weeks old, and he's perfectly healthy. Simnet won't even listen to anyone telling him he can feed a cat a vegan diet. Again, the guy is just a selfish, fake vegan poser. Yeah, fuck. I don't know if Turner's gonna reply to me, because everybody gets fucking weird when it comes to their friends and calling them out for their bullshit. Simnet's a fucking gaslighting liar. That guy's a dipshit. Anytime you see a live stream or somebody asks him about his cat, what he feeds it, this and that, he always dodges like fucking crazy. Somebody will ask him, why did you get a cat if you're planning on feeding it meat? And then he'll say some fucking bullshit about how, oh, well, I adopted the cat. I didn't buy it from like a breeder, which has nothing to do with what was asked. And then when they keep pressing him, he'll just ignore it, or he'll talk about how it's like a natural diet for a cat, or a cat has to eat it. And again, ignoring the initial fucking question. Like, the guy is just a fucking gaslighting liar. Fucking can't stand him. I wish he'd fucking show up at like a veg fest or something, and then I can like see him in person and fucking talk to him face to face where he can't dodge me and call him out for being a fake ass vegan. I fucking can't stand people like that.
More hormonally balanced. I can't even say improved my mental health. It completely transformed my mental state.
What?
Detoxed.
Okay.
Some of the most intense chemicals my body has been loaded with from growing up at the epicenter of a chemical factory town. Brought me closer to my soul. So much gratitude for plants. And I can call this veganism, but really it's being so connected to the plant world. When I was looking for my heart to be put to a word, an ideology.
Yeah, so veganism is the philosophy that animals should have the same rights as human beings. What she's talking about right now is health. So eating a plant-based diet because it's beneficial for your health has nothing to do with veganism. This woman clearly doesn't understand what veganism is. And, like, again, it just makes it all that more ridiculous claiming she's ex-vegan. She clearly never was.
Think she'll be the future of powerlifting?
All the way through! leaving a legacy and like mean to me.
Gentlemen from Los Angeles.
How much weight is that? Well, I don't know what you mean future powerlifting. Like, that's good. But, is that even... I don't think those are records at all. Isn't there a girl who's below her weight class who's outlifting her by quite a bit? Like, what's her bench at? How much is that deadlift? 502. Like, those are certainly, especially her bench, those are certainly good numbers for a woman. But I don't know if that's like really at the top of her class. I'm not sure. So I'm pretty sure there's a woman who's a weight class below her and who's outlifting her by quite a bit. Thanks for the donation, though.
Theology. Veganism came so close. I'm just so grateful for vegans. They are some of the most loving, compassionate people I've met, and they're a part of a collective that I believe will bring about such a huge healing to this planet, especially those who are walking with such intention and who expand their
Those are junior records?
awareness
Okay.
to not just animals, but the earth, other humans, everything that exists. Veganism.
Hey dude, what the fuck is up, Curtis? How's the car doing? Also, how's the new job at Altor? Also, here is some cool video I found that made me think of you.
I see you take a shit, have to shit myself, because I love you, yes I do.
Alright, well thank you for that, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Is beautiful. So veganism is the practice of abstaining from the use of animal products, particularly in diet, and an associated philosophy that rejects the commodity status of animals, centered in reducing and eliminating the exploitation of animals.
That's not what veganism is. Veganism is the idea of giving animals the same rights as human beings. This reducing or eliminating, that has nothing to do with giving animals rights. That's not what veganism is.
It was a culmination of many factors that catapulted me into this moment where I decided to depart from using the vegan label. And this video can only be so long, so I'll share just a handful of those with you. It's a strict philosophy that while I agree and align with so many of the pillars, there are some that just conflict with my heart. Veganism as I know it, as many people know it, places animals at the epicenter of an ideology. And I resonate more deeply with a philosophy that creates a synergistic, symbiotic relationship to mind, body, soul, earth, animals, other humans. Basically just putting everything at the center and not just animals, the whole picture. So whatever that word is,
what?
Sure, I'll be that.
Okay, if she's going to claim she treats all animals equally, but she eats animal products, like, that would lead to...
Bro, will you chill the fuck out? It's okay to have criticisms of owning a cat from a vegan perspective, but how about you stick to the arguments and not say some stupid shit like Brian is trying to gaslight you. Fuck off, you don't know what you're saying.
That's great, you're an idiot. Dodo and Tellers, can you watch some of this? No, not tonight anyway. We'll watch that tomorrow probably. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Yeah, if she's gonna claim she is eating animal products, but she grants rights equally between humans and animals, that would mean, logically, she's in favor of taking away rights from human beings.
For me, I don't want to use a label to define what I am. I am. I just am.
Yeah, that's code for I do whatever the fuck I want, and I don't want to use a label because then I'll be a hypocrite. So, yeah, I want to be able to eat, like, fucking steak and eggs when I'm at an airport. So if I call myself vegan, well, that would be a hypocrite. So I don't like labels. Labels restrict us. Yeah, right.
Veganism really defines what I don't do, what I abstain from, and it also doesn't define my why. Again, I'm speaking personally, it doesn't define my why. If I could describe to you in a few short sentences why I no longer use this label, it's because I don't believe that using animal products automatically correlates to animal exploitation. And
It absolutely does. That's total fucking bullshit. If you were to find comparable human products, like you're eating human flesh or human milk, or if humans laid eggs, human eggs, and you got them through similar kind of supply chain channels, you would absolutely call it slavery or human exploitation. So that's absolutely fucking bullshit.
And the commodity status of animals. Sure, that's what's been done for time. That's how we've.
You aren't smart at all, lol. Why do you talk like you are a doctor? Maybe you need to look up and follow an actual doctor to check out your symptoms. You don't have to judge others so horribly if they aren't vegan. Spread the message and critique them right.
That's great, dude.
Chosen to behave, to act. We can pluck a feather from a bird against her will. Is that the same as utilizing a feather that we found on the ground to create a beautiful piece of art with? Maybe to some people it's the same, and I honor that. I personally see a difference in relationship to that feather, that product, animal product. So veganism, in my opinion...
That's just fucking retarded. So if you found a feather on the ground and you wanted to incorporate that into artwork, that would be a vegan. Again, you're not violating the rights of an animal by doing that. So she doesn't even understand what fucking veganism is. And she's trying to muddy the waters and play stupid fucking word games.
Predominantly places significance on animals. And we've just reached this point on Earth where if we're going to address the amount of suffering that is happening to all creation, all life, we can't isolate where we place healing. It has to be everyone, everything, all together as one. The sun doesn't discriminate for whom it rises for, and the rain doesn't shower on a corner of a garden. We too are this bountiful energy source that has the ability to nourish where we put our focus, and I choose all. And I mean all, down to the microscopic beings that dwell under our feet within the soil. And many people will say veganism is love and consideration for all. And I don't doubt that's what it is for so many people.
No. Veganism is giving animals the same rights as human beings. Let me see. Figo Donate Tellers, hey dude, Vegan Zombie says he isn't fooding his dog a vegan food now because it causes health problems. Please respond. Also, what's your thoughts on plant shoppers? I don't think... No, he didn't.
AKA the Vegan Zombie.
I've seen this video before. He stopped feeding his dog V-Dog and he switched to a different food brand. He didn't stop feeding his dog vegan.
And prebiotic. Our nutritionally complete formula will remain the same with just 2 simple added ingredients by causing any gas or any problem anymore without this happening. What I did was I got Wild Earth. So this is another vegan brand that I hadn't used prior, and I've been giving them this. So I'm still looking around if maybe there's another vegan dog food out there that would be good for them. This is the new bag of V-Dog right here. This is it. This is what V-Dog looks like. And now we're with Wild Earth. I'm still making their own food. I do that every week. And
yeah, what are you... Like, did you even bother watching the fucking video, dude? Thanks for the donation.
I believe that can be true. And at the same time, there being another path to expressing love and consideration for all that isn't defined as being vegan. In a product sense, the label...
There's no way to give love and compassion for all without it being vegan. Again, How the fuck can you claim you're against giving animals the same rights as human beings, but
As
you're...
your business partner, I have a great PR solution. Do a vibe check and try to figure out why it is that most animal rights activist groups have blacklisted you. Maybe then determine if your ridiculous purity standards are toxic to activism and action.
The only reason I've been ostracized from activist groups is because I live in Toronto, and the two biggest ones, the Save Movement and Direct Action Everywhere. Well, I don't live in Toronto anymore, but I'm in that area. The Save Movement and Direct Action Everywhere, they cover basically GTA. That includes Toronto itself, but also they go all the way out to like Kitchener, Burlington, Hamilton. They're basically everywhere in southern Ontario. They're all the same people are in these two major groups. So everybody who's a part of the Save Movement is also a part of Direct Action Everywhere. And they're run by crazy, wacko, idiot, radical feminists. And the big fucking reason I'm being ostracized from those two groups is because I criticize them for kicking out men from the group who were falsely accused of rape. And it's not like a gray area thing where there's no evidence on either side. Like, it's clear fucking cases of false accusations. The dudes even have, like, clear photographic evidence that it was consensual sex. And they just don't hear it and have this, like, fucking retarded, super far left-wing take that believe all women, even if they're proven liars. So that's why I'm out of, like, Direct Action Everywhere and Cow Save. I've had personal issues with one of the local organizers of Anonymous for the Voiceless. This one stupid fucking woman, for whatever reason, doesn't like me, and she got into some fucking fight with me over me being aggressive with people that I was arguing with on the street. I'm cordial and polite when I argue with people doing street activism, but she didn't like that I would tell them, no, you're wrong, this is why you're wrong, and she just wanted me to suck everybody's fucking dick on the street. But she was forced to by Paul Bashir, one of the, well, he's like the leader of Anonymous for the Voiceless, basically, to not kick me out of the group and to tell her that my activism is just fucking fine. But I haven't attended an Anonymous for the Voiceless meetup in Guelph because she's just a fucking idiot. But Anonymous for the Voiceless is the one group that I probably can just go to and not really have any issues. But yeah, the other two biggest activist groups, they're just run by fucking morons, and that's the only reason. It has nothing to do with me. You people are fucking annoying the shit out of me right now.
Think she crushed the open record too.
Okay, whatever. I don't really care too much about powerlifting. Thanks for the donation, TT.
Label vegan doesn't mean something is clean, non-toxic, natural, ethical, earth-conscious, kind to humans, and even kind to animals. Sure, many products that are vegan are also these things, but that's because they choose to be those things, not because vegan automatically translates to that.
How in the love of fuck could you be against the idea of giving animals the same rights of as human beings while claiming you want to be compassionate to all beings? There's no way for you to fucking do that. If you're going to deny animals, conscious creatures, human rights, that means they can be abused, exploited, mistreated. Fugo donated $2. Yo, sorry if you look at the message I said stop feeding them a vegan food. Not all, just wondering if you agree that VDog is not a good brand. Sorry for no clarification. I have no idea. Thanks for the donation, dude. Feed your dog whatever vegan food you want.
I would love for all of us to seriously consider Earth as a living, breathing, sentient being, because...
Did you pass your G1, G2, and G1st try, nigger?
I have my full M license. I don't have a G license. I only have a motorcycle license.
She is. We walk
What the
upon
fuck?
her. Does this knowing change how we move throughout life? We can infiltrate her vein-like systems. Does this knowing change how we treat her waters? Humans, we're like advanced cells living within her vast body, and we have this amnesia.
This woman's a fucking idiot. The Earth itself is not a sentient being. That's why the Earth itself doesn't have fucking rights.
As to our role. I'll be completely honest here, as that's what this video is all about today, always. I think we're gonna have to go a lot further than veganism to mend the wounds we've created here on Earth. Sure, it's a part of the solution. I think there's so much more to go. We need more Earth stewards, people who are capable of filling the cracks with themselves. Not more people necessarily declaring what they're not going to do, but what they are stepping into. We need a revival of what it means to eat food, to grow food, to love, to live, to be in relation. And I personally don't feel like swapping chickpeas for beef at the grocery store is enough for me.
Like, what the fuck is she saying? Get fucked. Like, just, oh my god, I hate these people.
Personally, if we're going to address the root imbalances that we face on Earth today. I don't feel like
The root imbalance is animals don't have the same rights as human beings, but you seem to be against that idea while claiming you have compassion for other conscious creatures. So why the fuck would humans have the most robust rights of any species on the planet? That's not debatable. Why the fuck would you be against giving animals human rights if supposedly you want to be as compassionate as possible?
like it's enough for Earth, and I hear her beckoning us to go further.
What are G1, G2 and G3 licenses?
There's no such thing as a G3 license. In Ontario, you have different license classifications. There's G licenses and there's M licenses. G is a license for a car. M licenses are motorcycle licenses. And there's different classes. So if you have your G1, that's the first kind of, it's like a learner's permit. That's temporary. I think it only lasts for a few months. Then you have your G2, which I think is valid for 2 years until you, it either expires or you have to take a test for your full G license. And then same thing with the M. M1 is your learner's permit. That's valid for, I think, a couple months. And then you have to take a test or take a weekend course. Then there's the M2, which is valid for 2 years. And then you have to take your final license, which is, and those are permanent. So once you get your G license and your M license, it's permanent. You don't have to retake any test unless you get to like a really old age where you have to periodically retest just to make sure you're not like so old that you can't drive. Thanks for the donation though, Sam.
Thank you for your honesty and for providing genuine anti-speciesist criticism. The previous donations were not well thought out.
Yes, thanks for the donation, Ben.
Why can't these coming off vegan just come out and say, hey, I'm no longer vegan, but instead have to give this long stupid ass explanation on why they chose to not be vegan anymore to try and sound better about their choice?
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're lying, gaslighting pieces of crap, and rather than just admitting they're selfish pieces of crap and they just want to be able to eat meat whenever they want, they have to make these stupid, fucking, pseudo-intellectual, nonsensical statements about how the Earth is a living thing and veganism is not all-encompassing for their philosophical beliefs. It sickens me. Thanks for that donation, though, Andrew.
This video of Spiritual Travel Girl has now been medically proven to induce rage in 9/10 vegans. The 10% it doesn't are the dumbasses that keep messaging you about being too strict when adhering to a fucking ethical stance. What is this world anyway?
I can't stand people anymore. The whole, the whole feeding cats a vegan diet thing especially has ramped up lately, and holy crap. I think, like, the vast majority of people who call themselves vegans aren't vegan. It's probably, like, only maybe 10 or 20%, if that are actually vegan. So many of these fucking idiots own cats or dogs or something, feed them meat for no fucking reason, and then they're like, that's the natural diet. Your cat's gonna die if you feed them a vegan diet, even though your cat's still fucking alive somehow. Like, what the fuck do you think? Is Prismo eating fucking cockroaches? Oh my god. But thanks for that donation, Quest.
We're not meant to just consume as humans. We go to the grocery store, there's a bell pepper there. We have no idea the process that brought it there in the first place. We are disconnected to the process. We are not in a sacred relationship to all of the things.
When am I going outside again? When I'm gonna go see your mother tomorrow.
That bring us vitality anymore. The solution for these great imbalances isn't gonna come plastic wrapped from a grocery store that wears the same name as the thing it's destroying. Harmony isn't purchased, it's created. And I think a lot of us are going to have to step out of our comfort zones to become comfortable with this capability we have of creation and stop paying people to hope that they do it for us. It's you, it's me. I think the future of living and food is going to change drastically in the near future. And remember that it's not just cats, dogs, pigs, chickens, cows. It's everything, down to the smallest microorganism. What system of living springs from that kind of connection? We are living within that awakening right now. We need to go back to school, Earth, and listen. We've been moving so fast, warp speed for so long, thinking that technology was going to be the thing that saved us from us. And we ran before we walked. I wish for us to see the beauty in allowing ourselves to walk first and then run with our deep understandings. I'm choosing to go back to walking and sitting and listening. Equal to my love for animals is my love for Earth, a powerful being, wise beyond a lifetime of absorbable knowledge. I think we're going to remember how vital animals are to mend the destruction we, large in part, caused on Earth. There's a reason why a hen who lives in a garden nourishes the ground, promoting healthier plants. There's a reason why a cow restores barren dirt to living soil by simply strolling.
So that's a myth. That's not how that works. Oh my fucking god, this woman is just a complete and utter clown.
We're meant to dance together, designed to flourish.
So yeah, she's full of shit. She clearly eats meat and animal products again. I don't know if she's claiming, oh, I only eat cheese or some shit like that. When you're saying crap like that, she's talking about how, oh, well, we need to farm cows because without cows, then plants won't grow. Like, she's clearly either already eating meat or planning to and promoting meat eating. She's full of shit. She doesn't even understand what, like, the fuck she's talking about.
What the fuck is this, Richard? Can you explain it?
Oh, is that a person in a suit? Yeah. It's a dude in a suit. It's pretty weird. Thanks, Caleb.
This girl quit veganism and started smoking crack.
I fall asleep when I'm feeling sick.
Okay. No, she didn't quit veganism. She clearly never was vegan. She's just a fucking poser, and she is a pseudo-intellectual moron. Oh, the Earth is a living being and it's wise and did it. Then fucking eat dirt. Go have sex with a fucking rock.
Sizing our natural roles. Animals are a part of the solution to soil degradation, one of the biggest topics.
Yeah, they're
It is
not.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's absolutely not true. In fact, they're a leading factor when it comes to soil erosion. You can't support the current meat eating that's going on with grass grazing. You have to have corn and soy production to feed these ruminant animals like cows. So if you have a problem with soil erosion, again, the animal agriculture industry is the leading cause of it. It's also fucking strange how she's saying this when, like, again, forests are getting chopped down or burnt down to make room for grass grazing cattle. Like, what is she talking about?
Full remuneration for what we've done to Earth's precious beings is to give them space they were deprived of for so
Oh my
long
God.
to just be, nourishing the ground they walk upon. I'm really excited to see what kind of farming practices come about from this awakening that's happening all over the world. I think part of it is veganic farming.
Dummy. You can have regenerative agriculture without using animals, so I don't know where this is coming from. And organic is a fucking commercial term. Organic isn't anything that exists. It's just a commercial term for a certain commercial product. It's nothing. There's nothing special about organic farming that's more environmentally friendly or anything. It's an arbitrary commercial term with a set of fucking certain conditions where you can't use certain pesticides, but you can use others. You can't use nitrogen-enriched fertilizers, and that's basically it.
I'm really curious to see where that goes. And I'm also curious to see what can happen if we merge the spheres of animal sanctuaries and regenerating soil together. I think that there is something.
Right, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like when somebody is telling you the Earth is its own living being, and then they start talking about science, they're not worth listening to.
So powerful, fertility and overall health, made by the hands of impoverished people who were diseased by making these garments, but the price was decent. Or I could invest into a sustainable jacket.
Yeah, here we go. What I feel aligned to eat.
So here's why I'm sure many of you have clicked on this video. This is where I'm going to start getting a few of these, but that's okay. Eventually.
So she was talking about eating a lot of raw food or eating a mostly raw food diet. I can guarantee you she just underate and then started feeling like shit, and now she's just eating like meat.
Actually, I lovingly threw out what I had been told, taught, screamed, and I got into my heart. And I set energetic boundaries. I erected a little podium within myself so I could hear my heart speak so loudly, so clearly. What do I, Sophia, consider as food? And where do my ethics, morals, and values intersect at that point? The reality is I consider everything to be food, all the way from the apple off of the tree to the animals that are in my house right now that I won't eat. I think it's pretty clear that I don't feel an alignment to eat meat or fish. However, what has been an exploration point for me for years, even as a strict vegan, were vegetarian elements.
She'll go out of her way to not buy fast fashion, but she'll eat animals.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's a matter of convenience, dude. Thanks for the donation, Tamar.
Specifically milk, butter, cheese, eggs, honey. Things that don't require an animal to be killed in order to consume.
So they do require an animal to be killed to consume. If you know how fucking farms work, you would know that.
I'm not even going to hold back here. I see these elements as beautiful. And I believe our relationship to these creations, to the animals.
I just love that fucking retarded term. Oh, eating eggs and milk and taking from these animals is beautiful. Yeah, look how fucking beautiful this is. Chickens shitting out eggs. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, man, that really gets my fucking appetite going, doesn't it? Man, don't you just want to eat that? Watching a chicken shit out an egg? Fuck you.
Animals that create them is so fractured that we don't even have confidence within ourselves or others to build out loving systems that benefit all. I found that where my soul feels most content to dance within is a spectrum of, I guess what you could call ethical vegetarian.
It's time to march on Octo and insist that the word nourish is put on the hate speech list. It's weaponized to incite violence against logic, human brain cells and most importantly, the animals. Also a string consideration for living my truth.
You can't put nourish on a hate speech list. Thanks for the donation, man.
All the way to raw foodist. And I say dance because I'm not going to pin myself down anymore. This feels so aligned for me. So I'm sharing my philosophy with you that when in my integrity, I feel totally aligned to consider vegetarian elements. Even if I never ate those vegetarian elements, I feel aligned to do so. So I wanted to share that with you because I feel like we are at the height of demonizing food altogether. And I want to make it clear that I see them as beautiful when in integrity. Animal activist believes in an ethical egg, a humane honey, a more...
There's no such thing as humane or ethical eggs. Like, again, even when you're talking about, like, backyard hens and shit like that, they have to be bred. If you're buying it from a company, some of these backyard hens, a lot of them kill the male chicks. Like, again, most people don't want roosters. So they just kill the male chicks, and then you're buying from a company that was fucking breeding these animals and then murdering some of them that aren't economically viable. Oh my god. This woman is cancerous.
Moral milk. A consider...
Like, just think about it this way. Even if you had a system where, say that didn't happen, none of these animals were actually killed, just the idea that you're putting these animals into existence just to benefit you so that they can lay eggs for you. So imagine if you were to selectively breed human beings so that females would have extremely enlarged ovaries, so that like they could, so like when like human women menstruate, they actually have large eggs that they can like shit out and that you can eat. Well, what if that massively increased the risk of like cancer or something like that? And then you created a system where they're basically forced to fucking breed, and you're breeding these people into existence that are extremely prone to health issues just so that you can have fucking eggs. Like that's basically what you're doing. She's saying exploitation is fine, selectively breeding animals with the intention and purpose to use them, even in spite of the fact that you're going to make them prone to disease. That's perfectly fine. Like, it's just, she's sick in the head.
Cheese. There are your headlines. I have dreamed since I was a child of having a space and land to give sanctuary to animals, bask in them living out their entire natural lives, forging sacred bonds with every single one of them, or at least the ones who want to.
I'm sick of listening to her. I hope she fucking gets into a car accident or something.
She's so brave. This is her journey. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Her hormones must be so balanced. No more brain fog. She's so healthy she'll never fart again. Such glowing skin. Oh, the glory of animal flesh. Such a miracle. She's like Jesus. No more frownies.
Yeah, thanks for the donation, Adam. Let's see. Oh yeah, Tristyn Lee.
Media changes. It was pretty wild.
What were these immediate
My mom got into it since I was 13. My mom got into it for weight loss purposes, and my brothers tagged along. They were playing rugby and wrestling as well, which are obviously two sports that would also benefit from carbohydrates.
Go on.
Throughout the years, I just slowly got more and more strict with it, and then eventually progressed to carnivore just out of simplicity's sake. It was easiest to not have to cook my asparagus.
What a piece of crap. Just a selfish fucking childish turd.
Zucchini, vegetables.
Like, by the way, this is pretty, like, a pretty disingenuous way that he's presenting this story, because this wasn't just a simple kind of, I don't know, progression and personal choice for him where my mom did it, then my older brothers did it, then I figured I'd kind of eat that way because the rest of the family's eating that way, and then just for simplicity's sake, because I didn't want to have to cook extra food, I just started eating. Like, he was making fucking videos encouraging people to eat a carnivore diet, lying about the science, saying that, oh, carbohydrates are bad, vegetables have toxins in them, like, meat is the best, healthiest food for you. Oh, you're worried about, like, getting a heart attack from eating so much meat. Oh, well, guess what? Saturated fat and cholesterol have nothing to do with heart disease. Like, this fucking jackass was promoting animal abuse and, like, justifying it with completely non-scientific misinformation.
The devil's
foods. So you're 20 years old now.
I am.
And you've lifted weights for, I guess.
Okay, so I'm wondering if he actually has stunted growth because he was eating a stupid diet. Because he said he was doing this since he was about 13. So, like, Tristyn Lee's like 4'11" or something. I wonder if he actually has stunted growth because he was eating such a fucking stupid diet. Like, he's 20, but he looks like he's 7. I literally think I was taller than him when I was 7 years old.
7 years at this point?
Yeah, 6 to 7 years.
You were eating roughly how much protein and fat per day?
I was having probably 225 to 240 fat and protein 1-to-1.
Wow.
The first quarter of 2021 was when I kind of hit a plateau. I was also extremely lean at that point. I started to get some twinges. I was getting a little bit stringy and just flat and depleted. That was after almost 2 years, essentially, of carnivore. So it wasn't
being lean.
I was like, I just felt off. I didn't feel 100%.
Did you feel that a part of you being lean was distinctly for the gram, so to speak?
A lot of people have asked me that. I don't think so, to be honest, because a lot of people on social media would tell me you don't need to be this lean. You'd look better with 10 to 12% body fat or whatever it is. I was training a lot, twice a day, 6-7 times a week. I wouldn't take a lot of rest days, and I'd be just trying to push loads, heavy.
Tristyn Lee would have stunted growth. Dude, he's shorter than Greg Doucette. Like, Greg Doucette looks like a tall dude standing next to him. I'm pretty sure Tristyn is under 5 feet tall. So, he has stunted growth. Even if,
Are they natty?
No. Mike Israetel and Jared are not natty, and in all likelihood, Tristyn Lee isn't natty either. At least not lifelong. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam. What the hell was I saying? Oh, yeah. I think stunted growth is having height that's 2 standard deviations below the mean.
Collect 4 days worth of poop in a bowl, microwave for 10 minutes until it bubbles like a tar pit. Spread on face and use the rest as a gargle. Shit the bed. Come on the shit stains. Sink your teeth into a fresh poop log. Tell Jasmine to microwave her poop.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I think stunted growth is having height that's 2 standard deviations below the mean. Even if you're looking at like Asian populations, having height under 5 feet for a male, that's probably at below the 95th percentile in terms of height. So I think by definition, Tristyn Lee does have stunted growth. So I think he's under 5 feet.
Heavy all the time, and there was no sort of progression with regards to my training, so I wasn't setting up a mesocycle to actually have an accumulation phase. It was just, let me see if I can PR this week, and that's, by the end of that, it became a guessing game of whether or not I was going to get hurt.
Did you deload ever during this time?
No. I took my first deload in like 3 years, but like just the past few weeks. So I was at a breaking point in a sense where I was just like willing to try whatever at that point.
It's a lot of trust to have someone coach you.
For sure. Because I knew your guys' background, I was pretty much ready to hand it over.
Oh, but I thought Greg Doucette was the best coach on the planet. He charges $30,000 for, a few months worth of coaching, and he says nobody has to deload. What's going on here? My God, I fucking hate Greg. That vegan Joker, thanks for the sub, dude.
Over, and I was pretty confident in what Jared was doing. So, and then because it was pretty much immediate changes within like literally 5 days of implementing.
Those two pictures are pretty fucking wild.
Pretty wild.
No comparison.
So I was pretty confident after that point.
What were these immediate 5-day changes? I assume it was trenbolone, but I just learned from TikTok comments.
Oh yeah. Immediately I was just more full, so I wasn't as stringy, and I noticed my joints weren't as terrible. Jared wanted to slowly reintroduce carbs, so just rice and sweet potato.
Okay.
And I found my digestion's like perfect with those, so I've just continued to increase and implement those. On top of that, we added in pre, post, and intra
We
carbs.
put in an intra shake, and basically the Gatorade was fine with you. A lot of times it's not with some people, so he just kept using Gatorade, I think.
You went from
300.
roughly less than 10 grams of carbs a day, whatever's in the glycogen of the dead animal, and then to 275.
I dropped 4 pounds.
After calorie equated.
Calorie equated. He told
no
me
no change in calories, but you added carbs, removed fats and proteins.
Yes.
In all likelihood, it's not calorie equated. So Tristyn said he ate equal amounts of protein and fat in terms of grams. So he'd have 225 to 240 grams of protein, 225, 240 grams fat per day. Like, with that massive amount of fat intake, he is probably eating more than he realized. And when he switched to a calorie-equated, quote-unquote, diet that's higher in carbohydrates, he's actually probably eating less. Especially considering carbohydrates have you store glycogen and have you hold more body water. There's no way of explaining weight loss when you're switching a diet like that, other than he's probably eating less without realizing it.
And
like again, you can see the fucking before and after photos, like after the 5-day period. Like, he looks like he gained, a good 5 pounds of muscle at least. Like, he looks way more full, and then he's saying he weighs 4 pounds less here? So, like, I don't know. It's either something weird with the scale, or, like, the diet isn't calorie equated. And he actually lost a bit of body fat while transitioning.
And you lost weight.
Yeah.
That's odd.
He was like, you're probably going to go up like 10 pounds. You could see a 10-pound jump with glycogen stores, all that different stuff. And I'm like, Jared, I lost 4 pounds. So it was cool to see the changes. And then I just continued filling out more and more and more. So it was essentially just getting leaner. And
dude, it's so fucking funny. Like, David Lade is like this too. David Lade is a fucking string bean. But then you have all these fucking people, like these fucking 15-year-old kids, who are like, oh man, I want a fucking aesthetic physique like David Lade. He's skinny as shit. Like, really tiny. And it's just like angles and lighting, like why he looks big on Instagram. Like, Tristyn Lee's the same. If you see him next to like normal-sized fucking people, he's this tiny fucking like 4'11" kid, and people are like, "Oh, I want to look aesthetic like Tristyn Lee." Like, the guy looks like he belongs in a fucking kindergarten. Like, he literally looks like an 8-year-old on steroids. Yeah, he's a Jack Doompa Loompa.
More full, and now we're just continuing to increase those. But every 2 weeks, we added in 10 grams of carbs per meal.
About 50 per day. So.
50 per day added. Okay. Tristyn was so overreached, maybe even overtrained, with insufficient recovery and too much training, no periodization, and carbohydrates specifically, and enough calories also, have this huge parasympathetic response to your nervous system where they make you.
Roughly how much microwaved poop do you think Tristyn eats? I strive for at least 5 logs a day. Clench the anus mid-poop so some sticks to your sphincter and rubs against your cheeks while walking. No, I don't wipe. Let the brown butt lotion do its work.
I would prefer Tristyn to eat nothing but his shit if he's gonna keep eating animals, so... Hopefully he does go on an all-poop diet. I'd lock him in a room and just make him eat his own poop if I had the power to do so. But thanks to the Nation Microwave.
They put you into recovery mode.
Right.
Which is, if you're overreached and you don't have those carbs in, you're kind of in permanent mini fight or flight mode, ultra high stress mode. And that ultra high stress mode is something that tends to, in many people, store a lot of body water.
Right.
But it's not the fun kind of body water. It's under the skin body water. It's not in your muscles, which is why you look stringy. So it's something Jared and I have been through a bunch. But when he got to you, we didn't know that that was your state. Because there's a lot of people that do carnivore. They're at equilibrium. They're quite fine. You intro carbs, and a lot of times carbs bring so much body water that they blow up.
Right.
But for you, you were so overreached and so fight or flight, basically. You ended up, carbs had this super calming effect.
For sure.
And the whoosh water effect. And all of a sudden, because in the first 5 days, you lost like 5 pounds or something like that. So that's probably our best hypothesis to what happened. Training now.
No, so I think Mike's wrong. If you just consider how much fat the guy was eating, like almost 240 grams total for an entire day, like that's fucking crazy. 240 times 9 calories. He was eating over 2,000 calories from fat alone per day. So, like, and then I guess if he was eating 240, 220 grams of protein, that would be times 4. So he was eating about 3,000 calories per day. Roughly 1,000 was coming from protein. 2,000 or more was coming from fat. So when he started introducing carbs, he was probably just eating significantly less. That would be a much more sensible explanation. He probably just lost a bit of weight from the reduction in calories.
With carbs.
My training feels good.
Go! Go! Go!
Come on. Up and back. Up.
Yeah, there we go. I don't even, like, I don't understand it. I don't know why people can't hold a fucking barbell properly. Like, what is the deal with the suicide grip?
Up and back, go.
Go, God, go, go! Yes.
I've noticed the biggest difference in my pumps being way better. My strength is going up. I'm able to control and brace a lot better in heavy movements and compound movements, I find. So it's just been progressively getting better and better. I do notice I'm getting more sore. So that was like one of the first things one of the main things that a lot of carnivore influencers or advocates preach is I don't get sore. I'm always alert. And it's like these two things that are supposedly seem good, right?
Yes, right.
And it's not necessarily a negative thing. I was just speaking
Sore in the belly of the muscle.
Yes.
And in a way that recovers for your next workout.
For sure, yes.
Very interesting. We've tended to notice that people who eat a hypercaloric diet for the first time, add in calories, their joints start to feel great, but their muscles get really sore during training. But then, so it's kind of like if you're carnivore, you get a little sore and then you get a little not sore between workouts. When you're using carbs, you get really sore and then you really quickly heal and then it's time to hit it again. It seems to line up with sports science of stimulus, recovery, adaptation, repeat.
Go. Go. Slow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've never heard any carnivore influencers talk about that. Because most of them don't work out. They're the most unathletic people on the fucking planet. You can't have any energy or work out for long periods of time if you're not even eating carbohydrates. So, like, I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't really heard of that. But having a lack of soreness isn't a good thing. If you're training adequately hard, you probably should feel noticeable, soreness. So it's strange. It's a really strange thing to say. It's a sign that your training isn't as hard as it could be. Because if you're adequately fueled and you're eating carbohydrates, you'll probably be able to lift more with more power production and everything. So that's probably why these people are feeling a lack of soreness, just because they're not training as hard as they otherwise could.
Let me tell you guys about the RP Hypertrophy app. With over 20
Hopefully just keep trying.
in the app, download. Where is your journey taking you next?
It's just going to be continuing to mass. I'm honestly just following the plan. Keep increasing food and hopefully just keep trying to get the weight up, actually moving.
He's clearly excessively lean still, and I'm trying to get it moving pretty quick here. I would like to see about 10 pounds on in the block, which would be multiple mesocycles of massing.
That's in the next basically 4 months.
Right.
It's totally cool to be carnivore, but you might want to try.
It's not. I don't know why Mike would say that. It's not okay to murder animals. Why the fuck would he say something like that? And carnivore diet is obviously horrible for your health. Dodo, donate $2. Do you have Spencer or Crawford winning? I have no idea. I don't know anything about either boxer, so I have no idea. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Some carbohydrates. Jared, tell us about that and maybe tell us how the average person.
Look at this shit. Got fucking vegan Kit Kats.
Could transition to a higher carb diet.
If you were just gonna wake up, you're gin pop, you're like, carnivore's really kicking my ass, and you're gonna eat like a muffin, go to work, sit around, eat some more carbs, and you're implementing carbohydrates that way, it might lead you into some issues where you're getting tired, really tired around those meals. I think what Tristyn did was actually very intelligent, because he went from already having gone to eating some fruits and veggies around his training, which would be the least likely time that you would experience this lethargy. So if you're somebody who is training 3 times a week, maybe start on those days where you're putting in some carbohydrates like Tristyn did. You're putting in 100 grams carbs around the training session.
Yeah, every fucking time you hear somebody talking about the carnivore diet and they're athletic in training, they're always eating carbohydrates from somewhere. So Tristyn was already eating carbohydrates around his workouts where he was eating some fruit. Like Frank Tufano, he was eating literal fucking tubs of honey every day when he was getting back into bodybuilding. Paul Saladino, he started eating fruit and shit after a few months on carnivore. All of these fucking people, I don't think it's possible. I literally do not think it's fucking possible to do training, and I'm not just talking about exercise, I mean training, and be on a 100% carnivore diet where you're eating nothing but meat. It's not possible to actually train and eat like basically a zero carbohydrate diet. You can exercise, maybe like go for a walk or something, crap like that, but you can't actually train. You can't have any kind of periodized, structured training program where you accumulate over a period of time. And again, Tristyn Lee, he was eating fruit or some sort of carbohydrate around his workouts, but otherwise was eating like all meat. Paul Saladino, he went back to eating like fruit and honey and shit. Frank DeFano did. Sean Baker, like, he doesn't really even share what he eats, really, but he's probably eating some sort of carbohydrate sources, and he's not being completely honest and forthcoming about his diet, because I know he works out, but I don't know what his, like, training structure really is. I do know his strength went down considerably, especially his upper body strength.
I ease him into that kind of coming from carnivore to carbohydrate-based diet.
When you switch from using mostly ketones to mostly glucose, that parasympathetic anti-fight or flight response, because remember, you have a mild fight or flight response all the time on low carb, that's what's keeping you sharp. It's that animal survival instinct of technically mini starvation, but just hang in there. Tristyn, it's awesome to have you on the team. Hashtag Team RP.
Yes, sir.
You are technically now my adopted grandson, and I couldn't be more proud. See you guys next time.
Welcome back, Defenders. Jake here. We have to start today's video by talking about additional drone and missile attacks by the Russians. Kyiv thwarts Russian drone attack, hours after Moscow threatens tough retaliatory measures. So on Sunday or Monday, Ukraine successfully struck Moscow with several of their own domestically produced drones, and Russia promised revenge, launching a massive drone attack on the capital city of Kyiv. But all of the drones were successfully intercepted and shot down. So the next night, Russia was furious and launched 36 cruise missiles, 3 Calibers, and 33 Kh-101 and 555s, and all of them were successfully shot down. The air defense systems around the capital city of Kyiv are pretty damn good, being protected by Patriots. And I know what you're thinking, Jake, Odessa really needs the help. Unfortunately, Odessa is still being struck every night with missiles and drones as Russia continues to go after the port infrastructure and grain silos. Now, President Zelensky says that help is on the way for the city of Odessa. Ukraine has received additional air defense reinforcements. 3 days ago, the United States announced another security assistance package, including 4 additional NASAMS air defense systems. Additionally, yesterday, the United States announced, I believe this is their 43rd security assistance package in the last year and a half, worth $400 million. Top of the list, of course, is additional munitions for Patriot and NASAMS. So it's never going to stop Russia. The West, Europe, the United States, Canada, Australia, we're never going to stop supporting Ukraine. Russia is going to lose this war.
I'm convinced the only reason the war is still going on right now is because Putin has to keep doing this so that he can maintain political office. Like, that's the only reason.
And for the next story, let's actually pull up Ground News. For the last 7 or 8 months, I've been partnered with Ground News, and their website is the first site I go to when I begin researching these videos. Ground News is a news aggregation website that attempts to expose the political bias of mainstream news organizations. So when you sign up for Ground News, you can tailor your feed to the topics you want to follow. Of course, I'm following the war in Ukraine. And you'll be given news topics such as this one. Biden orders U.S. to share Russian war crimes evidence with the International Criminal Court. So when you click on the topic, Ground News will tell you how many news organizations have covered this topic, as well as their bias distribution. So for example, NBC News, this is a left-leaning organization owned by the Roberts family, and they went with the headline.
That's interesting. How Russian-affiliated news makes it seem as though Russia's being attacked versus Russia being put to justice.
Don't participate in ordinary school will translate the web page to English for me. I don't recommend accepting any cookies while on a Russian website. Overall, I just appreciate and respect what Ground News is trying to do. If you want to check them out, be sure to use my link. I'll pin it in the pinned comment and down in the description. Thank you so much to Ground News for sponsoring today's video. The other story, I just have to laugh. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu went to North Korea to beg for military assistance, declaring North Korea an important partner. So let me...
What do they think they're going to get from North Korea? They have technology that's basically from the 1950s. Like, that is just psychotic.
Let me just share with you a little bit of what this nonsense looks like. Now, the audio on this clip cuts in and out, but I'll link it down below if you want to see it for yourself. For me, North Korea is the most messed up society in the world.
Yeah.
The entire country is basically...
Like, by the way, for all the people who think, like, Russia is justified for being in this war, or they're sympathetic to Russia, like, oh, they're misunderstood or something, like, they're trying to make allies with fucking North Korea, a crazy, fucked up totalitarian society that, like, holocausts people en masse and tortures and kills fucking families for political dissent.
A prison state that only exists to serve the Kim regime. But here we are with Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu choosing to visit North Korea. This is the first time the Defense Minister of Russia has visited North Korea since the collapse of the Soviet Union. That's how desperate the Russians are. And Sergei Shoigu is participating in the 70th anniversary of the DPRK's victory, their victory in the Korean War. Here's another clip of Kim Jong-un showing around his new buddy. He wants to share with him all of his toys and weapons.
대표단 성원들이 전투적 우위와 친선의 정을 안고 우리 국가와 인민의 대경사를 축하하기 위해.
Damn, dude, Kim Jong-un is getting chonky. He's got some hot dog rolls on the back of his neck now. Let me see if there's any, like, up-to-date photos. He is getting fatter and fatter and fatter. Like, he is getting really fat. Yeah, look at this. Oh, he actually lost a bit of weight. I wonder if he's either on a diet or if he's, like, dying. When was this article made? June 16th, 2021. Yeah, he gained weight again. He was probably on a diet for a while, but then he just started getting fatter again. Yeah, apparently he has a drinking problem and he's diabetic.
위에 평양을 향해
I have no clue if this music is copyrighted, so I'm not going to play it, but all the propaganda videos put out by the DPRK, it's Kim Jong-un walking Sergei Shoigu around basically this museum. I mean, it's a display center. These are not real functioning weapons. Yes, North Korea has capabilities, but they lie about everything. I mean, they lie more than the Russians do, if that's an incredible feat. And during his reception speech, Sergei Shoigu declared that North Korea's army is...
Like, they literally have technology that the US had in 1950. That's basically relatively where they're at in terms of military technology. They only just recently have some degree of ability to aim missiles, but like like aside from just basic munitions, like if you're just gonna order ammo.
Ready to twerk?
Yeah, we're gonna twerk just after we skim through a bit of this video. Thanks for the donation though, Sam.
The strongest in the world. Okay. So, for the Russians, who are supposed to be the world's second most powerful military, to go on their hands and knees to the North Koreans to beg for additional military assistance, this would be the equivalent of, let's say, the United States starting an unnecessary war with Canada. We invaded Canada because we thought it would be a 3-day special military operation. We then get our asses kicked, and our military's getting destroyed. So we decide to go to Venezuela to beg Venezuela for military assistance. No disrespect to Venezuela or Canada, I'm just trying to think of an analogy to show how desperate and pathetic the Russians are to be begging North Korea for military assistance in their war in Ukraine.
Yeah, really.
We're turning into North Korea. Russians react to conscription measures tightening. And now it feels like the big war is coming closer. One official said after the latest in a number of signs of...
Like, if this goes on for much longer, Russia's gonna have, like, huge problems for, decades after this war, because they've already had demographic issues with so many men dying in World War II, where they have, like, they just don't have enough men having children, and then they have a very aging population that's not able to keep working and fuel whatever social programs they have in place and, you know, bring in tax revenue. Like, they're just getting rid of more of their young men, and then they're gonna have, like, less tax revenue later on because, like, they're not gonna have any men to, like, have children and, like, again, work and generate tax revenue. Like, they're just gonna completely and utterly bankrupt and collapse their society by doing this. $2 and $2 thoughts. Let me see.
Everyone loves BJJ and never shuts up about BJJ.
Facts.
BJJ. Let me tell you something. BJJ is absolutely useless outside of the cage or your dojo.
Well, that's just not true. They teach judo in, well, it is judo, but they might call it something else. They teach judo in just about every military across the entire world. And they just modify some of the tactics slightly to involve weapons or have some sort of lethal component to it where you, like, use a gun or you slice somebody's throat open or you break their neck or drop them on their head, something like that. Like, if the US military is teaching it to everybody, then obviously it's not useless.
Useless on the street.
What is BJJ for people that
Brazilian
don't know?
Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
It's useless.
And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is judo.
You can't do a double leg takedown on concrete. You're gonna fuck yourself up. Even if you do take him down.
Sorry, you can't do a double leg takedown on concrete? Are you retarded? That would be ideal. like again, the whole point of using judo techniques in a self-defense scenario is to take advantage of a hard surface. Concrete is harder than your fist, and if you can drop somebody on their head with their full body weight, that's going to hit them harder than anything you can do to them. So that would be ideal, to do a double leg takedown on somebody onto hard concrete. And if you look at any street fight, almost all of them end up on the ground. Street fight. Let's just... Like, you can just Google shit, and, like, almost all of them end up on the ground. Okay, these are, like, fucking retarded children. That's hardly a street fight, but... Okay, maybe if we... well, there's an example. So, there you go. Most of these fights... A lot of these are just fucking 12-year-olds. Like, most of these fights end up on the ground where you see people wrestling and shit. Yeah, these are all 12-year-olds. I'm assuming that's, like, the only shit allowed on YouTube, but I have to look at, like, World Star Hip Hop or something. But most of these fights end up on the ground. Like, what the fuck is Tate talking about?
To the ground. Many submissions don't work if he can bite.
What? Oh my god. This is like, he's like that fucking Asian guy who's big into Kung Fu on YouTube who says he can defeat judo techniques by, like, gouging people's eyes or something. That is total bullshit. You cannot defeat judo techniques by biting. All you're going to end up doing is ensuring that your arm is going to get broken that much sooner. Like, this is so dumb.
Or if he can scratch your eyes, or if he can...
Yeah, so Ramsey Dewey. Let me see if... I'll look on his channel. He did a video somewhat recently. Here we go.
Can you claw or rake my eyes? No, not really. Do you want to try that again? Okay. I'm just going to strike this way out of the rear naked choke. Ready?
If you've actually gotten into a serious fight and have tried to gouge out somebody's eyes, it's pretty difficult. When you can close your eyes very hard, and you can also, like, protect your face. So when you're wrestling and you're trying to gouge out somebody's eyes, it's pretty difficult. The idea that you can get out of a choke by just poking somebody in the eye is stupid. All they're going to do is squeeze on you harder, and then you're just that much more likely to get knocked out that much sooner. Like, again, this is coming from a guy who's a mediocre kickboxer who never did BJJ.
Can pull a knife.
Facts.
Thirdly, you don't know if he...
If somebody pulled a knife out on you, guess what? Kickboxing, Kung Fu, fucking, like, whatever you can name is not going to help you. You're going to have a weapon yourself, or else you're fucked. So, I don't know why he's saying, oh, if somebody pulls out a knife, BJJ is useless. Like, okay, well, every fucking martial art's useless if the guy has a knife.
If he has friends, you're going to take him to the ground, put him in an arm bar, and his friend's going to fucking kick you in the head or curb stomp you, and you're going to die.
Yeah. True.
Right?
Okay.
The number one rule of street fighting is stay on your feet.
Yes.
Number one rule.
Yeah, so if you knew anything about judo, There are a number of takedowns where you stay on your feet. So, like, do you think this might be useful in a street fight if you're fighting multiple people and you had to stay on your feet? Like, he's just hearted, and I mean, a lot of self-defense scenarios, you're gonna be fighting one-on-one. If you're fighting multiple people, like, you're just fucked. Like, the only thing you can do is run away or pull out a weapon. Tate is a moron. Like, again, this is coming from a guy who's a mediocre kickboxer. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Russia's increasingly militarized society. So on July 25th, the Russian State Duma passed a series of measures.
Have you selected your twerking songs?
I have not. I will look for them while we're watching this video. Thanks for the donation, Sam. If you have any suggestions, I wouldn't mind, because you said you wanted a new song that I haven't used before. Thanks for the donation, though, dude.
Aimed at tightening the regulations concerning military service in Russia. So I'm sorry if you're a Russian man between the ages of 18 and 30, and you can't afford to bribe the right person, you're going to get conscripted into the military. Putin is just incrementally increasing the militarization of Russian society every day. And the speculation and rumor is that Putin is trying to hold off. He's trying to survive until the March 2024 Russian presidential election. After March of 2024, Putin wants to declare a full mobilization of every able-bodied Russian man. All civilian industry will be converted into wartime production. And Putin's going to go full World War III, I guess. I don't know. I don't think Putin and the Russians...
There's no way they can do that. They've lost way too much, like, actual mechanized equipment, and they don't have enough ammo, weapons. Like, again, I guess if they're going to ramp up to full wartime production, but I don't know if they have enough raw materials for something like that. Like, you already have, like, squads of people, having one AK-47 for 10 people, and they only have, like, 60 rounds of ammo. So, I just don't see that happening. Putin's just probably simply trying to prolong the war as long as he can, because if he tries to negotiate surrender terms, like, he's going to be outed. He's just going to be kicked out of office and then killed.
Russians are going to survive until March of 2024, but for political reasons, this is what Putin has been planning. And on Kremlin State TV, we have yet another clip. Nothing is allowed to be said on Kremlin State TV without the approval of the Kremlin. So here's a guest commentator on the broadcast saying once again that the 14 former Soviet republics are fake countries. They're not sovereign. They're not independent. They belong to the Russian Empire.
Jesus.
So here's what he says. All these states on the territory of the former Soviet Union are fictional. They are fake. They are all fake. All these quasi-states under the Soviet Union are fake. Wow. They're made-up fakes. And in fact, when the Soviet leaders created them, they didn't really take them seriously. They didn't take them seriously as some really full-fledged states. So he's declaring that Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and the...
Yeah, good luck. They're insane.
Central Asian republics...
Holy shit.
...are all fake countries. They belong to Russia. They're parts of the Russian Empire.
Let's see, Sam, the idea is to break the mind-body connection to use the Spider-Man assault case in New York. I would have grabbed that young woman and fenced her. Not sure what case you're talking about, but, you mean snap somebody's neck? Is that what you mean? Well, anyway, thanks, Sam.
and Russia is willing to engage in decades of war and kill millions of people in order to restore the historical boundaries of their empire. Now, the Russians don't really like to talk about the Soviet Union because they don't want to be associated with communism. Communism was a clearly failed experiment. But they love talking about the Russian Empire.
Well, failed is
And
an
here are
understatement.
the historical borders of the Russian Empire going back to 1914. This is the map that Vladimir Putin and the Russian oligarchs look at and say, yeah, let's redraw the map. That's our territory now. Finland doesn't exist. Poland doesn't exist. Parts of Romania belong to the Russian Empire. Putin and the oligarchs will engage in decades of war and kill millions of people.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of those single countries have a higher GDP than all of Russia, so it's obvious why Putin and Russian oligarchs want to invade these countries.
If Ukraine cannot stop the Kremlin today. Speaking of empire and colonies, Putin had a Russia-Africa summit in St. Petersburg. 54 African nations were invited, 38 declined to attend, but the leaders of 16 African nations did show up in St. Petersburg to rub elbows with the Russians.
You want to bet like half of these people have like eaten other human beings before? Yeah, when you have to be a real piece of shit to be willing to associate with Putin like this. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people were like actual war criminals who've eaten people before.
Looking at this picture, are there no women on the continent of Africa? Like, why are these all dudes? And of course, you can't have an African summit in St. Petersburg without the real president of Russia being there, so for some reason Yevgeny Prigozhin is allowed to leave Belarus and fly back to Russia to shake hands with African dictators. And the real reason why Prigozhin has to be there is because the Wagner Group is the colonial expeditionary military force that controls Russia's overseas assets.
How long are you tweaking for tonight? And Alex Pereira won his fight by close decision.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to watch that match later. I forgot that was tonight. But, like, again, it's the twerking is going to be probably somewhere around 15-20 minutes. I have a list of songs, and I'll just go through some of them to see which two I want to twerk to. Thanks for that donation, though, Gay Niggas VG.
Thousands of Wagner mercenaries. They're an extension of the Russian state, operate in Africa, controlling gold and diamond mines, harvesting the wealth and resources of the continent, sending it back to Moscow. All of these African leaders, I'm sorry, are on the take, being bribed by the Russians to rob their territory of its wealth. It's all insane. But since we're talking about the Wagner Group, here's a satellite image of their camp in Belarus. This is what the camp looked like on July 10th, and this is what it looks like on July 25th. So a total, I think, of 11
Christie has no shot, but we appreciate the service he's performing for the country by reminding Republicans what Trump really is.
Christie's a piece of crap, but let me take a look.
We have a front runner right now who, when he gets on the stage for the Fox News debate on August 23rd, will be out on bail in at least 2 different jurisdictions, if not 3, between now and then. How are we going to beat the Democrats with a candidate who is going to be out on bail facing numerous self-inflicted wounds in courtrooms across this country? No one else wants to.
I don't know why you wouldn't have said felonies.
talk about that in the race because they're all afraid of Donald Trump. I've known him for 22 years. I'm never going to be afraid to tell the truth, Neil. And what I just said is the truth.
Well, yeah, obviously having a candidate that has multiple felonies while they're running, or is facing multiple felonies while he's running, is going to be a huge problem. Thanks to the nation, though, Ben. The diddler.
Convoys of Wagner mercenaries have been spotted sending trucks and equipment to their camp in Belarus, so what are they doing? I don't know. They're just having a fun summer camp experience in Belarus, I guess, as they no longer participate in this war. And for people saying that BRICS is the future, the bank created by BRICS, this is the New Development Bank, has now publicly stated that they will not be investing in Russia. The NDB is going to fully cooperate with all economic sanctions that have been placed on Russia. So not even the bank that was partially created by Russia is willing to do business and invest in Russia. That's ironic. The International Olympic Committee did not invite Russia and Belarus to the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. This was kind of expected. 203 countries have been officially invited to participate in the Paris Games. Only Guatemala, Russia, and Belarus were not invited. And it's still unclear whether or not Russian and Belarusian athletes will be allowed to compete under a neutral flag. That decision is going to be made in October. I'm hoping that the IOC will not allow these athletes to compete because there's no difference. A lot of these Russian athletes are military personnel. They all engage in the propaganda efforts to help Putin and help the states. Whether or not they're flying the Russian flag when they compete doesn't matter. Everyone knows who they represent and who they're fighting for. They're fighting for Vladimir Putin and the Russian war effort. So I'm hoping the IOC by October will officially declare that these athletes won't be allowed to come to Paris. When we check in on the front lines, a lot of people the last couple of days were starting to get nervous about 100,000 Russian soldiers and 900 Russian tanks amassing in the Luhansk region. The Russians want to reach the Oskil River. They want this to be the new natural border. And on deepstatemap.live, there was a map update. This was 2 days ago. The Russians advanced 3 kilometers, taking all these fields, but the next day, Ukraine counterattacked and retook the trenches. So no, I'm not concerned about the Luhansk region. The Russian military ground forces have proven themselves incompetent and incapable of advancing. The regular Russian military has done nothing but lost territory the last year. Not since taking the cities of Lysychansk and Severodonetsk. It was the Wagner group that successfully captured Bakhmut, and they're now gone. And when we go to Bakhmut, we've got good news. Ukrainian trap annihilates Russian troops near Bakhmut. Kyiv infantry continues to gain ground. So the rumor is...
How much protein for pound/weight do you recommend in a day for building muscle as vegan?
0.75 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That's what you should be aiming for. If you're dieting, especially aggressively, it should be closer to 1 gram per pound, but if you're in a calorically neutral or caloric surplus, or in a caloric surplus, 0.75 grams per pound is appropriate. Thanks for the donation. 1 syllable Anglo-Saxon. Appreciate it.
There's always a delay in the map. But the rumor is that Ukraine has successfully taken the village of Andriivka. Klishivka is surrounded, so it's only a matter of time before Ukraine takes this village as well. And this is very important to take these two villages, as they will then have basically fire control over this southern road that resupplies the ruins of Bakhmut. Ukraine is not going to go into the city. There's no point. But if they can surround it and turn it into a kill zone, Russia will fall for the trap. They'll keep resupplying and reinforcing Bakhmut because they can't afford the political defeat of giving up this city after spending 10 months trying to take it. So I think Ukraine's being pretty smart, retaking territory on the north flank, retaking territory on the south flank, and then just using artillery to just cause horrendous losses for the Russians as they desperately try to hold on to Bakhmut. Reznikov admits summer offensive is behind schedule, but is not worried. According to recent comments from Kyiv officials, Ukraine has shifted its tactics to focus more on taking out large numbers of Russian troops rather than gaining land. So everyone was hoping for a repeat of the Kharkiv counteroffensive last September. It just didn't happen because Russia was prepared. They had a year to build these defense lines in Zaporizhia. They laid down millions of landmines. Every time Ukraine tried to advance, clearing a path, Russian artillery was waiting for them. So this is now attritional warfare. Everything Ukraine has been doing, especially for the last 3 weeks, has been about causing horrendous losses for the Russian forces, going after their logistics and supply lines. So here's an interesting graph showing what Ukraine has been doing, especially the last 3 months. Yes, these are their own reported numbers, but you can see clearly a sharp uptick in going after Russian artillery pieces. Russian artillery is what is hindering the demining process for Ukraine to advance with armored vehicles. So the priority of Gimlers and HIMARS is to seek out and destroy these Russian artillery pieces. So in May, 546 destroyed, June 667, July 578. Yes, Russia has thousands of artillery pieces, but if Ukraine is knocking out 500 or 600 a month, it's going to start looking pretty dicey for the Russians by this fall and winter. Additionally, Crimea keeps getting struck with Storm Shadow missiles and drones. For the third time in the past week, an attack on Russian military depots in Crimea has been reported. These are excellent fireworks displays. I'm sure this is pretty demoralizing for the Russian forces, knowing that their supply depots 155 kilometers from the front can still be destroyed at any moment. And here is a Ukrainian volunteer wanting to share a recent drone drive that the Ukrainians accomplished, purchasing and delivering 1,700 additional drones for frontline units.
Всім привіт, позаду мене 1700 коптерів, ударних, розвідувальних. Всі вони зараз відправляються на фронт, щоб захищати життя наших бійців, щоб бути нашій артилерії ще більш влучною, щоб знищувати ворога. Продовжуємо розвивати проєкт «Армія дронів», продовжуємо масштабувати виробництво українських БПЛА і перемога за лідерством і технологіями. Тому рухаємося вперед, слава Україні!
Ukraine definitely has the drone advantage for their frontline forces. So for an update on Russian frontline forces, we've got another video from Dmitry at War Translated. So let's check in and see how the average mobilized Russian man is doing on the front. So these are Russian soldiers filming a video appealing directly to Vladimir Putin. Dear Supreme Commander of the Russian Armed Forces, appealing to you are the mobilized servicemen of the 96th Regiment. We all were drafted for mobilization from the Republic of Udmurtia. I don't know where that is. We've been in the Special Military Operations Zone since December. Upon arriving, the commander of the regiment and battalions is not supplying us properly. Okay? That is, defying your order of providing rest to the servicemen at least once every 6 months. So I guess the official regulation in the Russian military is that they're supposed to be allowed to take leave and rotate off the front every 6 months, but nobody...
Well, yeah, I figure they're trying to prevent that because people are going to mutiny and escape during that time in all likelihood.
Nobody's getting leave and nobody's being rotated unless they can afford to bribe their commanding officer.
Yeah.
The majority have been here for 10 months without leave. Ugh.
Whoa.
Salary payments of no less than 194,000 rubles are not being respected, so
They're
their
not getting
salaries are
paid.
being stolen by their commanding officers. Supply of water occurs once a month.
Holy shit.
Water is given on the basis of 5 liters per person every 10 days.
How are they alive? What? 5 liters every 10 days. How are they alive? That's crazy.
Clothing supply is not provided. It's summertime. It's July and
Oh
August,
my
and these
God.
guys are all living and sleeping outside, and this is their daily water ration. Half a liter of water a day, 500 milliliters.
Oh
That's
my
not enough
God.
to stay hydrated on. That's insane. Russian soldiers, if you're just willing to surrender, you can get all the water you can drink in a...
Oh my God. Thank you for that 9014. Appreciate the donation, dude.
Ukrainian prisoner of war camp. It's a much better deal, and you'll stay hydrated. The commander...
Here are the songs. 1. Jackmaster Jack. Jack the Bass. 2. Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band Disco Cat.
Alright, let me see. Jack the Bass, Jack the Dick. Jackmaster Funk Jack the Bass. Jackmaster. Okay, I'm assuming it's Jackmaster Funk. That one. And Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah DJ Disco Cat. All right. Disco Perfection version. All right. I'm assuming those are the two songs. Thanks for the nation, though, Sam.
of the Dnipro group forces us to buy equipment with our own money. Wonderful.
Wow.
Materials for building trenches and dugouts are not being delivered or in minimal numbers. The regiment is not supplied with vehicles. We have only one Ural truck per company. They're not allowed to have
Holy
vehicles because
crap.
the Ukrainians are destroying them all with drones. Parcels from relatives either never arrive or get opened. So Russian soldiers across the delivery path are stealing all the parcels and supplies that their loved ones are trying to send them to the front lines. The head of the Republic was deceived in regards to our supply and rest. Dear Vladimir Putin, our grandfathers liberated this land from Nazism.
Did you know that Big Dummy Sophia Esperanza has a speciesism tattoo on her left arm? It's on her Instagram and my what a fucking clown. Will she now have to cover that up with a they were born for it tattoo? She's so fucking gross.
Yeah, I knew that. She was clearly never vegan. I don't know why these people get these sorts of tattoos when they don't even believe in this ideology. I think a lot of people want to claim they're vegan because they think it's cool or something, but then when they run into the most minor fucking problems that are pretty easy to resolve by, like, just not eating only raw foods or something stupid like that, they just completely fucking quit. They're pathetic. Thanks for the nation, though, Awood.
Many of us followed their call of duty to repeat the feats of their grandfather.
That is right, name Jackmaster Funk. That is right, twerk after this vid.
Alright, Sam, I shall do that. Appreciate the donation, dude.
The command of the group and the regiment are preventing us from fulfilling our duty with quality. What a bunch of crybabies. So these Russian mobilized men have no problem with the war, no problem killing Ukrainians. They're just upset that all of their parcels are being stolen, they're not being paid, they're not getting time off, and they're not getting water. Wow.
Yeah.
Russian Supreme Court exempts soldiers fighting in Ukraine from criminal prosecution. Russian soldiers may now be able to avoid criminal prosecution if they're willing to serve on the front line in Ukraine. So at this point, saying and doing anything in Russia is a crime. If you're pulled into a Russian court, the judge is going to give you the option. You can either go to jail for 20 years for jaywalking, or you can volunteer and go to the front lines in Ukraine as a prison soldier. Yeah. Here's an update on the Crimean Bridge. Kremlin officials are saying that the bridge will be repaired by basically December of this year. So it's going to take them 6 months to fix this road span. Yeah, I don't think this bridge is going to last another 6 months. I'm pretty confident that Ukraine's going to strike it again within the next month or two. Good news for the Motherland monuments in Kyiv, the coat of arms, which currently has the old Soviet hammer and sickle on it. It's currently being taken off, and then the Ukrainian trident is being placed on, so the work has begun to replace the shield. Looking good. Final clip I have for you is a Ukrainian man choosing to play his guitar once the air raid sirens go off in his city. I'm going to attempt to try to play the music in this clip. If the music is muted, it's because YouTube blocked it on copyright grounds, so I'll link the video down below if the music can't be played. This update video, glory to Ukraine.
Alright, time to do some twerking.